All right. I feel like now that we hit the record button, little little camera
Hold
shy
on.
here.
We're a little
No. Just just want to do the intro.
Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Film Fumblers podcast, the show where we fumble through your favorite films. Today we're going to be talking about Avengers Endgame, released in 2019 and directed by the Russo brothers. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Okay, if we want to start at the beginning. Okay, here's what I thought. The opening with Hawkeye was kind of a cool thing.
Dude,
We
that
hadn't
was
seen him in a
fucked
while.
up.
We didn't know what was going on with him. And then we see that, and I was just like, holy shit.
Wait, like-
yeah, that
brutal,
was
dude.
pretty brutal. That was pretty brutal.
Where he's with his family, Adrian?
Oh, like backwoods? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Who does put mayo on a hot dog, though? That was weird.
It
True.
sounds pretty good. I don't know. Probably
Well,
should-
there you have it. But I thought that was a good way to open everything up. And,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
kind of, you're given the sense of like his family got dusted and you're kind of still in that part of the story. And I thought it was really good.
Mhm. Yeah, I am glad that I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, like especially the end scene. Like that was just wild. Like I think it was a
Oh.
perfect segue into watching Endgame.
Yeah.
What was the end scene? He was in the machine, right? And then she gets snapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, that was an awesome scene. I totally agree. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
that was pretty sick.
I
Yeah.
honestly could have just watched that and it probably would have been
Totally could have. I think
Yeah,
the first
probably.
Ant-Man was way better.
Yeah, I do too. The jokes just I mean this isn't about Ant-Man and the Wasp, but the jokes just didn't really land for me that well but the first one was really good though. I liked the first maybe I went into the first Ant-Man like this movie's going to be a joke and I actually really enjoyed it, but
I think I did the same thing.
yeah. Paul
But-
Rudd's great though.
Oh, he's awesome. I love the guy.
Especially in this movie. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he kind of, I don't know, he really made it. I think he made it like kind of accessible because like if you didn't know everything about the Avengers, like he was the one that was there to like mediate
Right.
that.
Yeah, because he didn't either.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
He's just
Yeah,
like he's like a
he
puppy
was
dog.
like
I'm
us.
just happy to be here, guys. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe that's why I like him. He's the most relatable kind of in a weird way.
dude, especially when he punches that fucking flying dinosaur.
Oh,
in the
how
face.
sick was that?
Whew. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We're jumping around, but yeah. So beginning scene, Hawkeye with his
Yes.
family, they disappear.
And then it cuts to Tony Stark in space. That was pretty sad.
Yeah, that was deep.
What's that?
Yo, he was so skinny. That was insane. Do you think that was CGI'd or did he lose the weight for that role?
It had to have been.
CGI'd?
I think it's
CGI.
real.
Because
Really?
didn't
So how long
they
was
CGI'd
20
Chris Evans' body back in the original Captain America, right?
I think,
Oh, yeah.
and
Like
for
super scrawny and
The
shit, and
skinny
then
guy,
he got
yeah.
super ripped.
the original one, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have just been Christian Bale CGI'd to look like.
Dude, that guy gets wild with his weight for movies.
It's insane.
Can't believe Chris Hemsworth put on all that weight just for this movie.
Right. And
That
then
would
grew
actually
out-
be
and then grew out his hair and cut it off, and then grew it out again.
Okay, so what next? Captain Marvel finds them.
Yeah, just toes him back.
That was badass. How she just carried the whole fucking plane all the way to Earth. That
Yeah.
was cool.
Fucking 10 million light years away. Wasn't it? Wouldn't they say that? Or like 10,000 light years?
Yeah, it was
I was like,
ridiculously
oh,
far.
that's fucking insane, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess
pretty cool.
How did Captain Marvel know to go find them? Did that happen in her
So-
movie?
No, it's just kind of like assumed that she got the pager call, went to Earth, saw everything, and then she talked to the Avengers and they're like, we know where they are. Just go get them or whatever. We know where Tony is, and then she just went there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I really want to watch Captain Marvel now. Like just the colors and stuff that they did, you know, like the CG, like it was just nice to look at. Like her character's so like glowy and vibrant and like
Oh, yeah, she's
She's a
Yeah.
cool character. Yeah.
I don't know if I liked her hair short, but I also didn't like that her hair was long and in her face. I was like, what? Why
Yeah.
would you want
Yeah.
that?
Justine and I were talking. It just seems like she probably got another role and had to cut her hair. Like, I'm like, you think so? Because
I
it
want
was
to
a
say
weird choice.
she had short hair in the comics, but I literally don't know, so I'm not gonna say that.
But why would she start off with long? Unless she finished her. I don't know.
Maybe it's just trying to show like 5 years is a long time. People change.
Uh, she's like wearing seeing eyeglasses now. Some time has passed.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what happened in the fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he has glasses.
James has some
Which was
opinions
weird.
about that.
Oh,
But okay,
the stupid sexy Hulk. Why is he so sexy? Why did they make him all dreamy with his stubble and his nice flannels or whatever the
It's a
fuck
nice fade
sweaters?
haircut.
Yeah, his haircut. Like that was just so awkward for me. Like I don't know what.
I don't know.
I
it's like,
guess
what?
I guess it was to show the progress of him as a character and how fucked up like he got from Infinity War. Like it made him overcome his internal struggle between himself and the Hulk. So he
Yeah,
wanted to
so-
be both of them. But why did they make him look so weird?
See, that's the other thing you
Just-
missed
I
in
don't
Ragnarok, dude.
know.
He's
Yeah,
in
Yeah,
because
okay.
Ragnarok, he's trapped in Hulk for like
for
how
like
long?
years.
Years.
Okay.
a long time.
So
Yeah,
it's like
see,
him
so
being
I guess
trapped
I
as the
should
Hulk and
preface
then
this
being.
by saying I haven't seen all these movies.
Well, I
so
mean,
I don't
the
really
only one who has
know
is Terran.
why.
So
Yeah.
I think I've seen them all too.
okay,
Oh,
Terran and
okay.
Jay. But yeah, it was weird. It was like Thor Ragnarok, he is perpetually the Hulk. Then Infinity War, he can't turn into the Hulk, and then now he's both. So I get it, but it was a little
Mhm.
awkward.
Yeah. Okay. So after they get there, they all plan to like go kill Thanos, or whatever. Wasn't there in the trailer? Did you guys watch the trailers for this?
Hmm.
Captain Marvel like catch the hammer out of the air, or the axe. I mean.
Oh, when he pulls it right by her face,
Yeah. Shouldn't she catch it out of the air?
Stormbreaker. I don't know.
I feel like I
I-
remember that, and they cut it out for some reason. Because like I feel like that whole scene with Captain or Marvel was cut down a lot from what was shown in the trailer.
I just
Like-
remember him saying, "I like this one." Like
Yeah.
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 talking about her.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird
I don't
that they
remember
all
catching it.
like he has short hair and stuff in the trailers too. I think like there's so many weird things like that. Like they just didn't want to show that stuff yet.
That makes
Pretty
sense.
funny. Like even the action figure is short hair. And he's all buff and shit. It's pretty funny, and he's wearing the white suit.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like the best hidden fucking thing ever. No, did anyone expect a fat Thor?
I
I
love Cat Thor, man. It
Like,
was
did
so-
I thought
anyone?
it was awesome.
So
I
good.
think my favorite Avenger in terms of personality is Ant-Man, but Fat Thor is like a close second.
specifically
Yeah.
Fat Thor. I've
Yeah,
always
totally
been like
Fat
a
Thor.
Thor fan, but yeah, Fat Thor was also great. Not that he's a different person, but I mean, kind of.
When your first two movies bomb, you gotta change it up. Say.
Yeah, that's true.
So in the trailer, she doesn't grab it, Taryn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
That-
really skipped it. Yeah.
But that was a
Could
cool
she?
little
Is she
movie.
worthy? I wonder.
I don't know.
Would be.
Maybe.
Badass that she was.
I feel like I feel like any Avenger could just grab it at this point,
maybe, probably.
except maybe not Hawkeye. Should we
Yeah.
talk about that? That was kind of weird.
Oh no, we're not there.
We're not
Wait,
there.
where are we? Wait,
Okay,
so
so
okay,
They haven't even killed.
To
Yeah.
Thanos' planet. Let's go there.
Oh, so okay, but how do they find out about that? Oh, because of what's her
'Cause
name?
Nebula knows.
Nebula, right?
Well,
So
also
he always talked about going here or whatever.
that, and also Rocket said that we had never seen this type of energy ever before in the universe.
Oh, yeah.
Because
And
he
this is where
snapped
they-
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he snapped again, and
To
so they
destroy
tracked
him.
it from there.
Okay,
Right.
so this is still before the time cut, right?
Yeah.
Way
Right.
before. 5
And they
years
go-
before.
They go, and then they're on the garden place, and it's empty, right? Except for him. in terms of
he's all
life.
there.
Yeah, he's like making some tea or
And
something.
he's just like a noble farmer or some shit. Like,
Yeah, at that point I was like, you know what? Just leave the guy alone, man. He's. I mean, I get it. He killed like billions of people or trillions. Jesus.
yeah, it's weird that he was just.
But that goes, yeah, that goes into like the whole moral, you know, dilemma of like what Thanos was trying to do. He was like, just like what he did with Gamora, how he had to sacrifice her for like what he believed to be the greater good of this planet was like, you know, if I kill half of the people, like they'll thrive. Like the number one cause of, you know, anything that's going wrong globally, like, you know, climate wise, food shortage wise, is there's too many people. And I mean, it's kind of hard. Like if you take that much of a step back and be like, oh yeah, he's doing this for good, for his version of good. I think it's kind of admirable in a way for him to be able to separate himself that much. But he had a good quote at the end about how, you know, to leave, you know, you can't leave the people who still remember. So.
Oh yeah.
Which was really a good quote. I liked that whole line that he had.
Yeah, his character is pretty deep.
It is.
Kind of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like
for
that's
a fucking supervillain, like
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one thing that I haven't really loved about Marvel is a lot of their villains are just kind of bland to me, whereas to like, you know, DC, like Batman's villains, there's so many layers about who they are. But Thanos, I think, is like probably my favorite villain out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for sure.
For sure. They're finally getting better. Like
Yeah, exactly.
What's his
The
name?
Black
Killmonger.
Panther.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Killmonger.
good,
Yeah.
too.
They're almost kind of
Yeah, he had-
similar in a way.
He had
like
depth too.
have,
Yeah.
They have something good about them a little bit. you
Right.
can kind of sympathize with their story and their like what they represent in a way, but like just the way they play it out, it's obviously not okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get onto his planet, and they're in his tent, in his fucking little farm simulator.
Yeah, great scene.
And
I really enjoyed that.
what are they trying to like accomplish in that?
I think
They
just
thought he had the
vengeance.
stones still.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because no one was planning on killing Thanos after they found out he didn't have the stones, but Thor was just so
He was like pissed off.
yeah, so angry that he messed up the first time, and then, you know, as we've seen, he cuts Thanos' head straight off.
That was pretty.
Did you guys expect
like
that
that.
in the first 10 minutes of the movie?
Not even.
No.
I don't know.
I
if
did
anyone
expect the credits to roll right after that. I was like, nice.
I thought that
Dude, yeah, I clicked the black.
maybe
I was
3
like,
minutes. Go ahead.
There's gonna be an edit of the credits on this because it just cuts.
I
out
know.
for a long time.
I know. I leaned over to Justine. I was like, credits roll, and she. Oh man, it would have been so hilarious.
I was honestly like, maybe the 3-hour thing was kind of a troll, and it's just gonna end in like 15 minutes.
Oh my god.
That'd be insane. Okay, so they do that, and then that's when the 5 years later comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So 5 years
fucked up,
later.
dude. Oh my god. Just like seeing how slow it showed up, you know, it's like emphasizing like a lot of fucking time has passed since this.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. They did it like one word at a time. That's kind of cool. But I don't really know how I feel about those kinds of things in movies. I guess in this movie it's okay because they've made so many of them. But if it was just
5
like
years
a
later was
standalone
very
movie-
important. I think the 5 years later was very important to show that Tony Stark had tried to move on. He already had a kid that was what, 3 years old maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so it really showed his hesitance towards helping out again because he was like, no, this is my timeline now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it for me to go back and try to fix things that might not even be able to be fixed.
Yeah, because you like look at it and like just watching the movie the start, you're like, man, like Tony didn't lose much, you know? Like, of course, everyone lost a lot, but like he still has his wife and he still has his daughter. Like, that's his whole world, right? Like now. But then
Peter
you see
Parker,
him,
though, he was
right?
fucked
Yeah,
up
and
from
you
that.
see, yeah, and then you kind of see him like reminiscing about Peter and like that he kind of just knows, like, no, we have to go back. We have to go back.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think what I did like about Captain America had like that little round table with those other, I think they were just civilians, and they were just talking. It was just like a coping, like, you know, how are you getting through today? Like, and that guy was like, oh, I went on a date today, and like it was just, I think it really brought home, like, man, like 5 years later, like people are still like just not okay, you know, at all. Like, oh,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
he cried before the entrees came out, and I cried at, you know, I cried at dessert. Like that,
Yeah.
they're just still
right.
trying
That was
to
fucked up.
rebuild, and that was a good scene. It was like, man, this is not. They're not alive, you know. They're not really living.
I loved how aesthetically like dystopian everything was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To show like there wasn't enough people to keep up with like the way things were, and like shit is kind of going down. It was kind of cool.
But Audi's just cranking
Baseball.
out cars like nothing happened.
Dude,
yeah.
fucking the Audi commercials. Whew.
Yep.
How he like goes around that giant racetrack just to get to the front. It's like they don't have a driveway. Like, it's like, no, you gotta do a NASCAR eight rounds.
There was a great comment on Reddit that was like, "Yep, saw this and immediately went to the Audi dealership."
Axe body spray trademark.
Dude, what
Oh,
the
shit,
fuck
that was
was
funny.
that about?
That
I
was
thought
like a
It was just it was a
self-deprecating.
jab at Axe Bodies. For
Yeah.
totally
yeah.
was.
I
agree.
guess,
But
but
I mean, all
they probably
publicity
still got paid. Are they still paid
Yeah.
for
Of
it?
course.
Like, yeah.
crying all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
But it was a good. I liked. I mean, from Ant-Man, it's like a perfect line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that was when he went inside of his little chest thing. I was like, uh oh. I was like, he's
Yeah.
going in his butt. I was like, what's inside of him?
It's like,
I was like,
why?
he's going inside. I was like, that was the twist. I was like, he's not actually going in Thanos' ass. He's going in Iron Man's ass.
Oh my!
Wow,
That was
I
a
did not
crazy
think
scene.
that at all.
Because like so he pulls the cord on his freaking heart, and like Thor has to like do some makeshift freaking what's it called, the
Defibrillator.
defibrillator, like, and he's like, I had no idea if that was gonna work. It's like, whoa, like that was so
Okay,
risky.
so it's apparently like a callback to, I guess, the first Avengers, because that's when they were together. But he hits him with too much energy and like overloads his fucking like, or too much electricity. So he like figured it out and just did.
Oh, it just does a little tap, a little love tap.
Yeah. Okay, so like right after the 5 years, that's right when Ant-Man comes out, right? That just cuts to the. Well, it shows like how.
Yeah, it's just like the
everything is.
world, this dystopian world, and then
And
then
it
the
goes to
oh,
the
by the way,
garage.
James, I think, said it first, but MVP goes to the rat in the
Oh,
parking
yeah.
garage, or in the
Was
street.
was that
Oh yeah.
was that the dumbest throwaway plot line like in the movie, or was it just what
The
did it
movie
help?
wouldn't
Did it
have
help
existed without
streamline?
that rat.
But did it help
Sure.
streamline the movie, or could there have been something better written there? Is that bad writing, or is it just let's get this movie on with it? Like,
Because,
what
okay,
was,
think
like,
about
what
it.
was
How
that?
else would
What
that
was
have
that?
happened?
No
No
one
one
else-
knew about Ant-Man.
Maybe his daughter,
Exactly.
like
His daughter, I
I
guess.
guess.
His
I don't
daughter,
know.
his daughter like grew
That
up
would've-
like, hey,
yeah.
my dad, he's like,
They might have
You know
taken
what's-
too much time. I don't know.
You know
Yeah,
what's
that's-
annoying? I was trying to catch Jordan up because she hadn't seen like any of the movies, and I told her like kind of how Ant-Man ends, and she literally, because we have watched Aladdin, she literally was like, yeah, so an Abu is gonna like save him, and in Aladdin, Abu is the monkey that he has that helps him like do shit. She was
Yeah.
like, it's just going to be like an animal companion that rescues him. And it literally was.
Wow.
And I was like, are you serious?
How did she guess that?
Dude, she
Just a
guesses all
random
of the
guess?
dumbest shit in movies. All of the dumbest shit she will call it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It never has. But she's always been able to do that shit.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, rat jumped on keyboard. Oh wait,
Exactly.
we're live. Yeah.
And that's just hilarious. Like Doctor Strange saw that shit and he was like, "Holy fuck! This is 1 out of 14 million chances. I have to wait for a fucking rat to go and accidentally press it." Conveniently, 5 years later, by the way, not like 73 years later or anything. Like,
Yeah.
just only 5 years. Not that bad.
Oh gosh.
But that's how it happens. And then, okay, the random portrayal of the security guard by Kim Jong. What was that?
I have no idea.
Who is that?
He's
Kim
in
Jong.
like The Hangover,
Yeah,
Oh,
I was.
that
kinds of
guy?
other shit.
I
Yeah.
saw that and I was
Yeah.
like, is that him? Like, what?
It looked like a girl with a fake mustache on to me. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he was
Wow.
incognito, and it was
All
like
right, it's Ken Jong. Ken.
okay.
But yeah,
Ken Jong.
no lines, right? I don't think he
no
had any
lines.
Nope.
He was on screen for like 5 seconds.
He just looked a little perplexed at one point, and then that was it.
I wonder if like maybe he's just a fan of the series and like wanted to be on it. I don't know.
Probably.
There's a connection.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see him wheeling away all his shit. And he starts
Which-
realizing, I was like, dude, that's
That
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a crazy
that
scene.
was nutty.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
that
was it
kid. What
5 minutes
happened?
for him, right?
No, it's 5 hours. Yeah,
5
He was in
hours.
there for
whatever.
5 hours.
Still like
Yeah.
nothing compared to 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
he
man.
he reunites with his daughter. By the way, the
That-
tribute that they had, I thought was really cool. Have any of you guys been to the 9/11 memorial?
Yeah.
No.
It's really really cool. It's like it's so weird. It's surreal. Like you go there and there's just these two giant pits, waterfall pits where the towers were, and all along it are lined with all of the names of the people who perished. And like that reminded me of the 9/11 memorial. It was just like giant slabs of just like so many
Tons of
people
people.
that just died, and it was
Oh, that's true.
it was chilling. It was really chilling.
I didn't make that
Yeah.
connection because I feel like the 9/11 one is, like you said, surreal is a good word. It's really weird, but that one, yeah, I guess it makes sense. It kind of was that. And
Yeah,
it just
that's what
said
I
the
thought.
Vanished or whatever. I thought that was kind of
Yeah, the vanish.
Yeah, I guess all the names, most of the names that they showed were people that did like video effects and like different things for that movie or some Marvel movies. So that was kind of
Oh, they all died? No.
I read that there was at least 1 or 2 names from like X-Men and stuff, like movies that are coming or something.
Oh, really?
related.
Really?
Character
Oh,
names.
nice.
Dude, I was trying so hard. I was like, "There's no way these aren't Easter eggs," and I didn't recognize any of them, which was cool.
Yeah, there are a
Because
bunch
usually,
of
yeah,
names
it's like, oh,
or
the guy
something.
created it or something, but it was like the people actually made the shit. Like that was cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was because Rocket mentions it when he's talking about how the energy exploded. He says something about mutants and how it's going to cause like an offspring of mutants or something.
Oh, I saw that.
Does
I saw
he?
that.
And it kind of
Mm.
I don't think he
He
said,
said that?
Definitely doesn't say that.
no, he doesn't say it's going to cause, but he mentions something about mutants and the energy. And it's supposed to like tie in how, a few years later, X-Men and all these mutants start popping up. Like these were the events that could have led up to that.
Yeah, that has to be the reason. Like that's really good.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So is
when it
that
says-
like is that do you think that's just going to be like a different timeline that could bring a new X-Men to the Marvel universe
No,
or
I think that alone is enough to like cause people to get these mutations and be the X-Men. You know what I mean? Because those
So
are separate
the-
movies.
the-
Like those do
the-
not match.
yeah, so
movies.
they happened at different times.
Yeah.
Those
The
timelines.
MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like all this stuff is totally separate from anything else. Any comics, any movies, like it's just its own thing.
Right.
But isn't X-Men sort of related to Avengers in the comics or is that not true?
Yeah, well, I mean, they all get together in some form or another in some comic. Like it happens eventually to all of them.
Hmm.
It's just like in this universe, it hasn't happened yet. So like
Yeah.
that's what will happen moving forward, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forget where I read that, but it's something with the way that he mentions the energy that
So what energy? The
Right.
energy from Thanos?
from
Like, what-
Thanos,
He
yeah.
destroyed the stones. There was like a
Yeah.
pulse. That's how they found him.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like a cosmic. He says something about a cosmic, like whatever can cause mutations or some shit. I don't know.
Okay. Because mutants, they originate from Earth, right? So that cosmic energy would travel to Earth somehow. Is that what I'm getting from that, or?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be like scientific about it.
I mean, it
It's
may
just-
not be,
Yeah, like in a general sense, things are off, and that leads to the more mutants being born.
interesting.
Kind of cool though. A little bit of a piece of that. A little bit of a nod to X-Men, which we haven't seen in a while, I guess, right? Since Logan.
Yeah,
It's kind of the last X-Men related movie.
yeah.
Uh,
Logan was great.
Wasn't the one with Isaac Oscar the last one?
Dude, maybe I am behind on X-Men movies. I have not
I
seen.
believe
Oh
so.
well, Deadpool 2 has, some X-Men in it. When was that?
Yeah.
Was that more recent?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really recent.
Yeah, that's the most
I
recent.
mean, it has a couple of them, but
Hmm.
Oh yeah, actually, before that it was Logan, and before that Apocalypse. Which I
Oh,
don't know if I've
Apocalypse.
seen Apocalypse.
Apocalypse with Oscar Isaac.
Okay, and then they're making
Is it
the
the
Dark
guy in
Phoenix
Split?
movie. Oscar
Oscar
Isaac's,
Isaac is Poe and Star Wars,
yeah,
sorry.
Poe.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, were you saying-
Also, Dark Phoenix coming up with Sophie Turner, right? Kind of weird,
Yeah,
but
that's.
probably cool.
I
Yeah,
really
haven't
like the
kept up on
X-Men.
this. Yeah, that's why I'm really excited for the MCU to probably make better versions.
To take over, yeah. And like I think so X-Men, like the first ones, I think it was 1, 2, and maybe 3, I can't really remember. But I was like a kid when those came out, and those just hit me at like the perfect time. I was like, these, like the special effects, and like I loved those movies, and I fell in love with like, the Nightcrawler and
Who
Wolverine.
the
So to
hell's
see
gonna
them come
who's
back.
gonna play Wolverine though? Like in a
That's true.
new
They'll
like, it
find
just
they'll
can't
find some up and
happen.
comer. They'll find some up and comer. I mean,
I don't
Just
believe
like
it.
de-aged
I don't
fucking Hugh
believe
Jackman
it.
it was like
movie.
okay. It
I
was
No,
like
they're
Han
just gonna like
Solo.
CGI that bitch.
It was like
Yeah.
Han
The
Solo.
whole
Like who
time.
could have played Han Solo? But then once Solo came out, you're like, you know what? This works. Like he grows on you. For me, at least.
He did grow on me.
Yeah, it
for
took a
sure.
minute to grow
So
on
it's
me.
gonna like, I feel like it's gonna have to be like that too. And then the next generation will be like, wow, who could play this character but this actor? When
Yeah,
Who's
I
gonna
was
play
kind of
Iron
thinking
Man this time. Yeah.
right.
the parallel to Solo was good. I was thinking like a similar thing. So what? Okay, where are we in the movie?
So Ant-Man reads the memorial of all the people who are vanished. He
right.
reunites with his daughter, which is a pretty great
Dude.
scene.
I
That was a crazy scene.
teared the fuck up like more than any other part of the movie on that scene specifically.
Really?
I don't know
Wow.
why. I was like, holy fuck, this is really good. Really feels.
Yeah.
It was good. I think he still manages to like Paul Rudd his way out of it with some stupid joke, but it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it cuts right to the scene where Black Widow's hosting like this video call, right?
Yeah. I like
Oh,
how
yeah.
she's so like messed up about this. She's so distraught. Like her hair is blonde, but like grew out to her natural color like halfway. That was
Yeah.
really cool to me.
Oh, really?
I
I
didn't
didn't even
catch
notice that.
Yeah, she was blonde in Infinity War.
And the place is like pretty kind of a mess, and she seems kind of all over. Even when she like throws her foot on the desk, it's like very like not
Yeah.
really professional, or maybe just not all together.
I think she did like a good job at like, trying to keep composed, trying to still be a leader, like giving out commands but then you could but it was just good acting where she was like trying to hold it together, but you can tell that she's really not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's really good in this movie.
Yeah.
So when Don Cheadle's character mentions like everything that's going on where he's at, are they talking about Hawkeye there?
They're
Like,
talking about
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Mexico? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
very heavily implied.
That's
Yeah.
kind of an interesting, like, I couldn't really tell what they wanted to do about that until she finds him later.
I think they were just upset that he was going rogue, killing crime syndicates and stuff like that, and that was his only way of coping that he lost his family, was just
Yeah.
basically killing people on his own. And they noticed that it was his style of killing, and all these dead people, like whole freaking gangs died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like a whole nother story. Is like, does anyone really care about those characters? Like, in
Which
my
ones?
opinion,
Like
like,
Hawkeye?
do you
Hawkeye, I could see because he hadn't been there for a while, but Black Widow, I feel like a lot of people care about.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I haven't seen many of the.
like
I mean, maybe
when,
because it's Scarlett Johansson and she's a babe, but
Well,
I don't know. I just
But why was she so torn up about Hawkeye?
dude, they're
Like, just
really
from the
good friends.
camaraderie.
dynamic duo. I
They've been
guess.
good friends
Yeah.
forever. Yeah.
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 Which is like the only
So it was
real feeling relationship in the movie.
that she's ever had, right? Because she doesn't have a family. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah,
That's why she was like the perfect sacrifice, basically.
Yeah,
so he
has
could
Red
move,
Skull
so he could
missions.
move on.
Just like I didn't even know my father's name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after is it shortly after that where they jump into that Asian like what are they in Tokyo fight scene? I seriously
Well, they
Oh,
Didn't
before we get to
think-
that, I just want to
Yeah.
finish that scene real quick.
Paul
When
Rudd
Captain
shows
America
up.
comes in. No, Captain America comes in,
Oh right, with the PB&J.
and he mentions like the quote unquote good things that are happening, and I was like, holy fuck! Like you just gave better world building to like how Earth would be, like if that happened. Like there's
Yeah.
fucking whales and like what was it? Like
Well, yeah. So
America?
he was saying like there's
some-
less
something like that?
fishermen. He's
Yeah,
like,
and
there's
Wales,
less
like
boats out on
in the yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Whales
damn,
in the
like,
Hudson, yeah.
that makes
It was
you
cool,
feel
and it was-
more like, is this good
Yeah,
thing?
like-
Holy
yeah.
shit, like,
But it was also
Not-
like the most Captain America thing to do was to look on the bright side of like
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like that little like throw like that line or whatever was really made it a lot more interesting.
I
yeah.
think continuing being Captain America when Paul Rudd shows up as like a live feed cam and he's like, is this old video? Because like he'd never really
Oh, yeah.
understood the technology, you know? He just kind
Oh,
of
Well,
was
they
like
couldn't
around
believe it
it.
because they probably knew he was gone, right?
I think
His
that's
name was on
probably
the
true.
slab. That's what I got out of it. They're just like, what the fuck? Like, how is he here, right?
Well, I wonder if they even saw the slab because that was in San
'cause-
Francisco.
Well, no, I know. I'm sure that they
Just
tried to get in
assumed he
contact
was
with
dead.
all of the like superheroes or whatever, and like couldn't find him. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or they just didn't care about him. Fuck it, No.
yeah, I feel so bad in that diner scene, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, he comes in, he eats the sandwich, but he kind of sparks the like. I think that
Yeah.
scene is probably like the first like main. What is the phrase for that in movies? Like it starts the action up, you know.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
he
there's
kinda-
a chance now.
It was like the revival of like, okay, like now we can work towards something.
yeah. That's when they start getting people together, right? And then it goes to Hawkeye. I want to say.
I
maybe
think
it doesn't.
that's right. Or they're just trying
no,
to
they
keep
get-
everybody up.
No, they go
Yeah,
talk
I
to
guess so.
Stark.
Yeah,
They go
okay,
talk
that
to
is-
Stark because
Right. The Audi
Because
commercial.
he's-
No, that's
because
after.
he's-
That's when he comes back.
he's the smartest person who could maybe possibly pull this off, right?
Yeah, there you
And
go.
that's the reason. And then they go see Hulk later because he's the second smartest person
Yeah.
that could probably figure it out. And that's when
Yeah.
we get to see sexy Hulk in all his sweater wearing glory and his 5 o'clock shadow and
Yeah.
his dabbing
Dab.
and his
His appeal to the
famousness
kids.
and
Mm.
it
What?
is so weird. Why I don't know. Every time I saw Hulk on screen, like something inside of me Was it cringing?
It was
Was I
weird.
was I falling in love with the sexy Hulk? I keep
You're
calling him
right.
sexy
Yeah, I'm like,
because
didn't
I
get
don't know.
sexy out of that. I don't know.
You didn't get sexy vibes out of
No, I
his
just
out
got
of his
really weird
like
CGI
I was like, why did they? What did they do to my boy? What
I
did they
got a
do to
little
my
bit of the
boy?
sexy vibe.
like I was like,
Middle-aged housewives around America were getting rustled.
yeah. There was definitely some activity going on
Yeah.
downstairs, but like, I mean, and we talked about this earlier, where it was it showed that him fighting or him going through the whole thing in Infinity War really fucked him up good enough so that he could finally bring perfect balance, as everything should be, to himself. You know, a
Yeah.
balance between
Yeah.
himself
Brain
and
and
the
bronze,
Hulk.
yeah.
Yeah. And he decided to be more. He's like, I'm wearing clothes now. I'm wearing,
Yeah.
like,
Shirts now.
like just the smile, just the stubble, the glasses. It was just he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was
It
so
was a little
fucking
weird.
weird. It was so weird to me. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
apparently there's a whole comic book series or sequence called Professor Hulk, and that's what that's based on, I guess.
Oh wow.
Now he's the sexy professor. He's like that college teacher that all the girls are trying to fucking suck
Guess
off
he
to get.
is.
That's kind of Beast, right? From X-Men. He's like
Oh
yeah.
really
wow, they're so
right.
similar.
But I
didn't
mean,
even-
Beast isn't as sexy for sure.
Yeah, he's
but-
definitely not
But
sexy.
he's
Oh,
just
totally.
like really intelligent, but also really,
Furry.
strong. Yeah, furry. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get him, and then do they? I think maybe that's when they go to Hawkeye. I don't know. Or do they go back to the
Yeah.
lab?
That scene was so weird to me. I was
they,
like,
they
what is happening?
The Hawkeye one.
Yeah, where he's fighting in
Yeah,
Tokyo.
I had no idea what was
Yeah.
going on.
Like
all.
at first I was like, are they on a movie set? Like, why are they? What? I didn't know it was real. And then he took off his mask. I was like, this really happened. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
weird to me, that scene.
So,
I didn't
guess
like it at all.
there's a leak of all the next movies. One of them is Shang-Chi, I think it's called, which is going to be a new character. I don't know who that is at all, but I was like, are they just introducing someone in this already fucking overpacked movie?
Well, they
I feel like
killed
this
him.
ends- No,
The
the
guy
guy
who-
with the mask. I thought that might have been the him. 'Cause he's
Oh,
supposed to be,
okay.
Shang-Chi,
Okay.
obviously, like an Asian superhero. I just didn't know that could have been that.
Right, yeah. I mean, the
Oh, I
fight
did
scene
hear
was
about-
like cool, but
No, it was cool.
honestly, I
was
thought they
just
were gonna bring out Baymax, and they were in San Francisco.
like-
I was like, oh shit. No, not really. That would have been fucking wild. But
That would have been a little too wild, maybe.
So he kills all those people, and then it's Black Widow, right? That just
Yeah,
kind of
she
like
shows
appears.
yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you killing everyone? It's like, I don't have anything to live for.
But
I
okay,
know.
so first they show homie going into the time machine, and he becomes a baby. He gets old. He does all that. Then
Dude, I
they
kind of
go-
thought they were
Thor.
gonna do. I
Then
kind of
they
thought
go
they were gonna
see
do a
Thor.
Stan Lee cameo there. I thought
I-
they were just
that
gonna
would've-
throw. I
but
thought
that
it would have been
would've-
better, but it would have been
Okay.
weird.
Yeah,
But-
so there's like a lot of theories about Stanley in this universe, which are a whole different conversation, but that would have just ruined it all. So
Yeah, but I was just like, that would have been kind of silly. Like whoa, like Stan Lee being Stan Lee. Like it would have just been really funny.
yeah, it would have been good.
But I
The
get
first
why
one
they
was
didn't
So
do it.
good, and then yeah, it was still good throughout, but like that first one was really good, and then it kind of was like, okay.
We get it. Yeah, you're not getting it right.
Which is interesting because they're like, you're throwing time through him, not him through time, whatever. It's like, are they just
Mhm.
gonna like, is it a backup plan for Captain America? Oh, just make him young again, just fight some
Yeah.
more. I don't know.
Probably, honestly.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah, I
funny
mean,
that
there's no real science in any of that, so they could just do whatever the fuck they want.
no,
it was funny that
Make it
Tony
up as
just pulls up and he's like, "Oh, turn him into a baby." Like he just calls whatever the
Yeah.
fuck happened.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He explains it.
We just got done talking about
Sexy.
No,
Sexy-
Hawkeye
Talking
finished.
Oh, Hawkeye. Sorry.
He did
hot
the-
guy.
Hot.
Hot guy.
Hawk
Hot
guy.
guy.
That should be his
Hot
name.
guy.
Hawk guy.
Haka guy. That's so hard.
when he was like, "Oh my wa moshinderu."
Dude, his sword
Nani?
was actually cool as
Yeah.
fuck, honest.
The fighting was
It
cool.
really
weird,
was.
Just weird scene though. Like
I can't wait to watch it again
Yeah.
and see is Japanese actually good, or I was just caught off guard by it. Or if it was even him at all.
Didn't it sound like him at all? All of a sudden, his voice changed regular. Like,
Yeah, he was just like, "Hello, I am American."
yeah.
I was kind of wondering if his sword was made of vibranium or not.
ooh.
It seemed like it could have been, especially when he uses it later on and starts chopping through aliens like nothing.
Is that the Black Panther one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or that's just
What's
the
the X-Men one? Sorry, real quick.
Adamantium.
There you go.
Adamantium.
Okay, never mind. Good. Vibranium.
Oh. We know more about made up elements than we do probably about the
Okay.
Good point.
So,
Good
let's see what
point.
happens.
So,
So actually, the Drunken Thor was before the Hawkeye stuff.
it was
Oh, wow.
before the Hawkeye stuff and before the Hulk shit. Or wait, no, it was.
No, Hulk was.
Oh no,
Hulk,
no.
Hulk helped.
Because Hulk
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
New
So
Asgard.
Hulk
Like, I like
and
that.
Oh
Rocket
right, yeah, because
go
he
there,
was in
right?
there. Yeah, he was in there.
They
So I
take like a
guess-
weird truck.
Yeah, that city that they do it in, I forget what it's called, is supposed
New
to be
Asgard.
related to like the actual stories in Norse mythology, I guess.
Oh.
that was cool.
Oh.
I don't know exactly. I can't remember. This is why you should probably do notes before we do these things, but it's something like that.
I read that the location that New Asgard in is also where Thor's dad gives his whole speech and dies in the previous movies.
James didn't know that. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
That's
Spoiler
right.
alert. Beep beep.
Been on
That's
Netflix
okay.
for like a year.
It's true.
But it's also where they originally find something in the first Thor movie. But apparently it's mainly because Marvel Studios likes to use that location a lot. But it actually is in like one of those European countries.
Yeah, so it's funny because this is not even related to Avengers, but in Thor Ragnarok, that scene, that really badly CGI'd scene, was in like Atlanta or something,
Wait, which one?
where they're with Odin, like on the cliffside.
Oh, where he's talking to
Oh, really?
his sons?
Yeah, it's so bad. If you watch it again, like the CGI is fucking terrible, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, they find Fat Hulk. Fucking hilarious.
Fat Thor, yeah.
What did I say?
Said Hulk. I mean
Sorry.
Hulk.
Sexy Hulk. Get it right.
Sexy Hulk and fat.
Sexy Hulk and Rocky Raccoon find Fat Thor. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and Korg and what's Korg's little buddy's name? The knives
Meek,
for hands?
dude. So
Meek.
good.
Yeah. Find them all playing some Fortnite in a little cabin.
Yeah, so
where-
those characters are from Thor Ragnarok, those rock fuckers,
Yes.
and that.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't even really
Dude,
know who they were.
You
Like
need
they were
to watch
cool,
that
they were
movie.
fine.
That
in Thor Ragnarok, they are hilarious. Or
Yeah.
Korg
You
specifically.
have to watch that shit.
Yeah.
yeah, them
It
and
is good.
Goldblum alone is worth watching that movie.
Goldblum. Oh, he's so great. He plays Goldblum. Like he's
Yeah.
never a different
But that's
character. But
fine,
it's
it's
just
perfect.
it's perfect. Yeah. He's in Portlandia a few times, and like
Oh
he's,
yeah.
he's
I
just
didn't
His
see that.
characters
Goldblum.
are awesome.
He's the same person, but it's so funny. He's
I
just
need to
he's
see
just a
that.
funny guy.
So
I
they're
know
in New
James.
Asgard, right? You don't like Jeff Goldblum?
He finds him creepy, I think. Or that's what I wrote.
Me?
I don't know.
Me?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
you're talking to me. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a little off-putting. It's in the eyes.
I mean,
that's
I'll
fair.
agree, I guess. I just think
It's
he's
in
great.
it's in the eyes. It's in the I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
love him
know.
so much, dude. So good. So yeah, Fortnite stuff. The screen looked good. I thought it was gonna look fucking weird. You know how like screens in movies look really weird. It looked really good.
Yeah.
But it was like copy pasted after the fact. Like, you know what I
Well,
mean?
no,
It
for
kind of
sure,
looks
but
all
like
weird.
it didn't look as bad as it usually does.
Oh yeah. But there was the
Oh,
fork knife.
of course, Korg's lines, all of them were great.
Anytime he opened his mouth, I was laughing.
Classic chord. So they find Thor in this house in New Asgard, and he's fat as fuck, and he's drinking a ton of beer. And honestly, I didn't like. I guess I never really thought about the fact that gods could get fat, but I guess I could.
Well, his dad is a little on the
Which
thicker
that's
side.
totally true.
But
I
he's
can't
older.
figure
I
it out.
mean,
Yeah, with age, it like just happened. Whatever.
But isn't
My
Thor like
favorite thing-
1,000 years old?
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
yeah, but his dad's like
But it's-
10,000 years old. I mean,
It's relative age.
yeah.
My favorite thing about Fat Thor was the little nod to the Big Lebowski when he's walking up to the time thing.
Lebowski, yeah.
I
The
think
what is it?
someone
What was
even
that?
calls him Lebowski. I think Tony Stark says, "Step aside, Lebowski," or something on your left.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it is
Yeah.
Tony, yeah.
Those
And
sunglasses.
then Rocket calls him an airbag or something. Oh, well.
Yeah. I think even Drax has a line about the dude or being the dude at some point. But it was a cool nod. If you haven't seen The Big Lebowski, you should check it out. It's a good movie. It's a bowling movie, so you guys would like it on that.
I actually
I need to
haven't
watch
seen
it.
that.
I need to watch this.
Not seen
That's a
that.
good movie night movie, actually. We should watch that.
I'm so down.
I think it's on Netflix still. It's a Coen Brothers movie too, and randomly, like members of the Red Hot Chili Peppers are in it. So
No way.
yeah,
Weird.
Okay, so I think after that is when they go to the Avengers building and start talking about their plan.
Yes.
that's
They're all-
when I really liked the screens, the like kind of floating screens that showed all the stones and the locations. That was a cool little visual effect.
Yeah, that was good. I really liked Ant-Man in all of this. Paul Rudd was really good because, yeah, he just doesn't know anything.
Ant-Man
He's
was
just,
my
like,
favorite
so excited.
character.
He's
Like
so
he
excited.
Me too.
and they were so mean to him. Like I was like, why are they being so like mean to him? Like
Leave
they were like
Ant-Man alone.
they were like so above him, but like yet if it wasn't for him and like him like revealing that he has all this shit, they wouldn't have even been like that close to doing it. You know what I mean?
I kind of
Oh,
took
of
it as
course.
like.
It
I
was
kinda took
cool
it
that
as- Go ahead.
it was cool that towards the end of the movie they all were wearing his suit. You know, like they
Yeah.
all were Ant-Man. Like
Except fucking
all-
dumbass War Machine just has to have his Iron Man helmet. Like, what?
did he?
Yeah,
I don't. I
Yeah,
didn't
he-
remember
I was
honestly.
a little annoyed by
he
that.
just traveled in his
Just
own
wear-
suit, basically.
Oh, I didn't.
Just wear the Ant-Man shit.
Yeah, no, like they
He's
were all
"This
Ant-Man, and I
helmet
was like, this is
$450,000.
sick.
I'm wearing this.
Like it was like they were all turning into their own little colony of little ants. Like you know how they control the ants or whatever. Like that's
Oh,
again
yeah.
how it was. I was like, this is really sick. Like they created their own little army. Like
Yeah.
so I like that. Like he was so underrated. I loved him.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love Ant-Man. He's so
I
good.
think like the slights at Ant-Man, for me, it was kind of like maybe like the MCU being like, we get it. It's a superhero based on an ant. You know, like
Yeah. but he's
take it with a
more
grain of
important
salt.
than-
You know,
yeah.
like. But obviously, I mean, he was one of the most important characters.
Dude, I don't
Aside
know.
from
After
Rat.
watching the Ant-Man movies, I was like, you know what? This is actually might be like the best kind of hero. A hero you can't even
It's-
see or like know that they're coming, and then you get socked with the force of like a full-grown man, and this dude's like an inch big. It's pretty awesome.
Your suit just fits in a little fucking wherever the fuck.
Yeah, it's the
How little
ultimate
yeah.
like.
you want.
The cars they have in that little like briefcase thing.
Oh, that's
That's
so cool.
Yeah, their office is like a little briefcase that they roll around.
But I get that he's like supposed to be kind of dumb or whatever, not the smartest. And then, but they still call it like the time heist. There's like little nods to his like,
Yeah, his little music that comes in sometimes. That little like that.
yeah,
slide
that
music.
kind of
So good.
background to being like kind of this petty thief that kind of got put into this situation. It's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
the time heist just sounds cool. The time heist. That could be like a whole
Yeah.
scene.
I think what was cool is like Ant-Man, like he's not like super like book smart, like he doesn't have, you know, a doctorate in freaking time science, but like he's just like, guys, like what he's just like high level, like what if we tried this? Like I know I can't figure this out, but like here's an idea, let's give it to somebody who's a lot smarter than me, like Tony Stark, and maybe he can roll with it. So like he
Yeah.
was the, you know, the one to inspire that.
Totally.
And like
Yes.
being smart is knowing your strengths, right? I mean, and he did that.
Definitely. And it's not even like, you can't really knock him because he doesn't have like superpowers, but like neither does Iron Man or any of these other dudes.
Right.
I mean, they have like they're really smart, but they're still, their powers are in the shit that they have, and he has
Yeah.
a suit.
Yeah, he's smart about using the suit.
Right.
Yeah, and he kind of like steps in when he has to with the whole particle stuff. Like he's like, "Yo, we only have enough for this much shit. Like we either need to get more or whatever."
And then he fucks one up.
And then he immediately fucks it up.
We have
Classic
2
Ant-Man
test runs.
move.
1 test run. Dude,
That
I
was a
want
great
him to have
scene.
been gone there for like 4 years or some shit. Like comes back in a second, like fuck.
That was good because it did show you like, yo, this shit is important, and then immediately classic Ant-Man fuck up.
Yeah,
But
so
it
we
kind of
get-
sets up the whole Stark scene later.
yeah. So we get Thor's drunken monologue. We get him falling asleep in a chair, all fucking good stuff. And I think
That
right
was
after that is when they go to the machine, right? They try it, and that's when all that stuff happens.
Well, so Hawkeye
They
does
test
a
it on
test
Hawkeye.
run. Yeah, he does this
Yeah.
test run where he sees his family and he picks up that baseball glove.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was actually a nuts scene.
Yeah, his daughter's just normal. She's like, "Dad, what are you calling me for?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty brutal.
Looks, I mean, his normal self is still there. It's like,
So he does that like as a test for everybody, right? And then they're just like, okay, it works.
Yeah.
Let's all pile in.
Exactly.
which is kind of
Yeah.
scary, but whatever.
Yeah, that's totally scary.
Get the show on the road.
So they go back to New York City. Banner, Rogers, Lang, and Stark travel to New York City in 2012.
Which is the first Ant-Man movie. I mean, first Avengers movie. Sorry.
First Avengers movie. Hulk goes to the Sanctorium, where the Ancient One is, on top of the roof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a great.
That was
Uh,
another great scene.
Yeah, her just blasting him out of his body was so
that
badass.
was
Dude, I
She's
was
like, you don't
awesome.
want to do this, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm humongous. Like, what's up? And she just knocks him out of his.
Boom.
I was
and he's
what
like,
if they
Dude.
just separated right there.
Onto
What
the
if-
That's what I was like.
ethereal
I
plane.
was like,
became
he's
separate characters right there. That'd be
Holy
fucking
shit,
crazy.
that'd be nuts. I don't think
I
that's
thought
how
that
that
might
works,
happen.
but that's
No, yeah.
I thought it
He's
really
just so
showed.
normal in a flannel, just knocked out like nice in a flannel and shit. It was weird, but whatever.
I thought it was great how. I mean, it really does just show the strength of like the wizards or whatever they call themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just really cool. Like it was kind of a flex on Strange is like a legit dude.
Yeah.
But I will never get tired of that effect, especially in Doctor Strange when they
Yeah.
do that to him.
The
I thought it was the
portals.
coolest fucking thing ever.
He's like, what was that,
portals,
psilocybin?
the-
Like, he's,
Yeah,
He just
the
thinks he's
portals, but
tripping.
the out of body thing, it's so
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
And they just make it look so good, and he's like floating around talking to her. It's awesome.
the
Yeah,
ending
that's-
scene in Doctor Strange, or it might not be the ending scene, but the scene where that character dies, that girl, like I don't remember.
Danger one. Yeah.
Yeah, where she dies, like that was like good. That was one of my favorite scenes I think of MCU. Like that.
Have you seen Doctor Strange, James?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Dude,
It's
The
so
whole
good.
movie is just so trippy
So
and just
good, yeah.
so sick.
there's shots in there that I feel like rival. What's that one movie with?
Inception.
Inception. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. There's just some of that shit gets so intense. It's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah, the explanation of the time stuff. At the time, it made sense, and now I can't remember like what.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like basically the Hulk is she's explaining to it, you can't do this because you're gonna be creating all these different voids. And he says, well, if I take all these stones and have how many stones are there? 5,
Six.
6 different timelines. But if I bring them back, then everything's gonna be okay. But
Yeah.
that's where it gets convoluted and it doesn't really. I don't know. I guess we could talk about it later, but they don't understand time travel themselves, but I think the ancient one understands it a lot more because she has the time stone, right?
Yeah.
I think
You would
so.
think so, yeah.
So
They
she
kind of
kind of
lay out the
understands it
rules.
more. They lay out the rules, but like, what are the rules? They literally make kind of a meme out of it themselves. They say, "Well, you're saying Back to the Future's bullshit," you know? Like even they don't fucking understand, and they don't believe in time travel themselves. Really,
They lay out the rules and then they break their own rules later.
they break every
It's-
single rule. That's a
Right.
different story for a different story, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
and I mean, we're not here to just talk about how great the movie was. I mean, there was some things that were like, that doesn't. I mean, but you get past that, you're like, yeah, it's of course time travel's not going to make perfect sense.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
you
think
can
that
go
whole
into the
moment
whole,
just fucks, man.
yeah, you can go into the whole like, you step on a butterfly in the future and it completely alters. I mean, they like hit the Star-Lord and knock that motherfucker out cold, like in that timeline. Like, of course, that would change so many things. Just
But
anything that they did would change so much in the future.
how great was the Star-Lord thing, though? He's doing his intro into Guardians
Yeah,
of the Galaxy,
just
but then they
watch.
cut the music out. That was so good.
That was a great scene. But yeah, so she's showing, which was cool, like how she like brought up the timeline like visually,
Yeah, visually it was sick. That was really cool.
and then broke it
Yeah.
off into another. But yeah,
Oh,
what she
it
was saying
like
is
a
like,
way-
so this would help your timeline. She's like, but I can't sacrifice my own timeline to do this for you. And that's when Bruce Banner explained, he actually accidentally mentioned like, oh, well, Doctor Strange said this was the only way. And she's like, wait a minute, Doctor
Like, he
Strange
gave
said
it
this?
away willingly, and she's like,
Yeah,
he's not an idiot. Like
Yeah.
he did that for a reason.
right.
Yeah.
I
He had
liked
the
how
easiest way to get the stone. Everyone else was all fucking struggling and fucking up.
Yeah.
And yeah, his was the easiest.
He just had to get knocked into the ethereal plane for a minute.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, no,
He
yeah.
psychologically
What-
gets fucked up.
that was an awesome scene in that movie when he goes to the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
But I really liked, just to like kind of last thoughts on that scene, how they talk about Strange, how Bruce Banner walks up there and mentions Strange, and he's like, and the Ancient One is like, oh yeah, he's doing surgery about 3 blocks away or whatever.
Yeah, yes.
Happened.
But she knows, like that. That
Yeah.
is, because she's the holder of the time stone. Like that was great.
Yeah, I
It
want to
was
watch
really-
that movie again just to like with that context. It's gonna be so cool.
Hmm.
It was a great scene.
Okay, so also in 2012, the Avengers movie is happening. So they're in New York
Oh, yeah,
fighting
we
off
see like
the
the ending,
Loki and
right?
aliens. Yeah,
That was kind of cool.
that was really cool.
Yeah, shit's getting all fucked up. But
Dude,
then
I thought we were
Stark,
going to see the Hulk scene from that movie.
I was
Where he takes
so ready
Loki.
for it. Where he gets Loki, I was like, they
Yeah.
love that scene. Like,
I totally thought we were going to
and I was like, we're gonna
Oh,
watch
he
it again.
smashes him or whatever.
Where
Yeah.
he smashes him like 10 times on the ground. Because
So-
that's reoccurring in Thor Ragnarok but not with
oh, is it?
not with Loki, but just watch it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so Tony Stark and Ant-Man are separated, trying to find it. Captain America's getting the scepter, right? Trying to get the scepter.
Yeah.
Yeah, a interesting part about that scene is Loki slips out, and it doesn't
Yeah,
go back to
so-
that. That's huge.
Oh, true.
So there's
Yeah.
going to be a
Huge.
Loki show on
Yeah.
Disney Plus, and everyone's speculating like that has to be what it's about, right?
Because he
yeah.
had the Tesseract, right?
Because he fucking dies like in Infinity War. He's straight up
Exactly.
dead.
Oh, yeah.
Before the snap, yeah.
But he
Yeah.
grabs the Tesseract and disappears in that scene, doesn't he?
Hmm.
Yeah, so check it out in that same scene when Iron Man and Ant-Man, he flicks him off of his shoulder, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that actually plays back from the very first scene in the movie when they're playing football with
Oh,
each
shit.
other's
Oh,
fingers.
Like in a-
nice.
That's why
A little
he was
nod to it.
able to flick him so accurately towards
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
minuscule.
so that was-
He
Yeah,
lost
such
the
a
Nebula,
minuscule-
by the way. but
Yeah, just such a minuscule
No,
little
yeah.
thing, but it just played back just
I did not
earlier
see
in
See,
the
they
movie.
go into
Yeah.
such detail over that, and they don't even try with the time travel shit.
Yeah,
But
time travel's
well,
such an
it's so
obscure
hard,
concept.
I 100% agree.
convoluted. Like it's
But
just
then
so
how-
hard
by
to
the way,
even try.
How are you
But-
going to explain time travel to like such? I mean, know your audience. Like, well, I'm not going to understand that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I totally
like-
agree. But they're just like, but that flick though.
Yeah, like,
Fucking
though.
football.
that scene at the beginning. Like set this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, because it's totally random. Is this like what else is it? Well, I guess they're trying to show that Nebula's humanoid ish.
Yeah.
And like a,
Whatever.
like fully a good guy.
Yeah. Capable of having emotions.
Yeah.
Right. Other
And
than
then-
anger.
so they've fucking
So
Hulk, what is it?
Loki's-
Hulk opens the
Loki's
door,
escape.
knocks his ass out, drops the
Oh, yeah.
briefcase. Super
Yeah.
unlucky, by the way.
That
is,
was
yeah.
annoying. I was like, Jesus. And then we cut to fucking Captain America in the elevator.
Oh, dude, that was
That
so
was an
good.
interesting scene. Yeah.
That was so good. I fucking laughed at that shit when he's in the elevator. Because like he can beat all these motherfuckers up instantly, quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was part of one of the theories I saw about him being able to wield Mjolnir, because that he's just so good. Like he's like he knows he can fuck him up, but he's just like, I'm just gonna do this non-violently. Like we'll just get out. It's fine. Like it doesn't matter.
You know, like Dungeons and Dragons problem solve this situation, and
Just Hail Hydra. So
Yeah.
good. It's so good.
I read that was a nod to a scene in the comics where he does apparently almost exactly the same thing.
a scene in the
yeah.
what?
Like he's faking
in the
it.
comics at some point. Yeah, he like fakes the Hail Hydra thing.
Ah,
That's
okay.
cool.
But yeah, it was really cool that they did it. I really loved how he runs into himself and he's like, I could do this all day, and he's just like, yeah,
I know.
right.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Dude, I like the explanation of like, oh, it's Loki, blah blah blah. Like he doesn't question like, oh, there's another one of me. It's just like,
Right.
oh, it's
Yeah.
Loki. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good how they
He
showed
doesn't
that.
tell anyone or something. Like, oh, there's another Captain America. Like he just says Loki or something. That's really
Right.
That was a crazy scene. It was cool how he. Well, what ends up happening actually? They stop fighting because they get bombed
he
or
uses.
something.
No, they fall off the rafter. He uses the Mind Stone on him to like knock him out.
Oh, right.
okay.
The scepter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then they fall like a ridiculous amount. I felt like they fell for like a couple minutes. It was kind of
Yeah.
a lot.
I was like, is this where he dies? No, it's not.
But that was
And
a good.
then-
That was a good scene.
Yeah, that was super good. They go to car. They're waiting for.
Oh, they're just out there in the car. That was kind of
Oh.
weird. I was like,
Well, they were just kind of like, we
they're just
fucked up.
chilling.
We
Yeah.
gotta go back to the 70s. So they end up going back to the 70s to get some more particles because Loki's gone, and they're like, well, we fucked this timeline, right? Like they
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
fucked that
Yeah.
timeline. That's why this time travel shit don't fucking fall.
That's
They
why
just
the
go back
whole
more.
exactly everything starts to make
Well, 'cause-
less sense.
That sets it up to where that's where Captain America goes to put it back, and he just stays there. That's the last one he does. He just stays there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Those
So
are
they
so
go
good.
there, which is honestly top 5 scenes in this movie is when Tony Stark goes back. I thought that shit was so cool.
With his dad.
Well, it's both of them, right? Captain America
What?
goes too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, seeing his dad and get into like just that whole dialogue about like he's about to have a kid that's him, you know. But Tony
Yeah.
also had a kid, and he was like, you know, he like asked
God,
for
I
advice
feel
or
shit. Yeah.
you know, how do you know you're qualified? And he's just like, nobody fucking knows, you know, you just kind of do. I thought that was awesome.
When I like how he said to Red, like Tony's dad, he was like, you know, he's not even born yet, or the kid's not even born yet, and I would do anything for him, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
So like it just it's just sentimental, you know.
It's
Well, it was
yeah,
also-
closing up his character arcs, making so many dads. All of them.
Yeah, totally.
Because didn't he have a kind of daddy issues? Because he always felt that his
Oh,
dad
yeah.
like was super hard on him, and like, oh, maybe his dad didn't really love him, but he was
Well,
able to see that his dad did love him. Like
But he also
more than
told
he
him,
would ever know.
he gave him advice. He's like, no matter. He said like any amount of money doesn't make up for 1 second of time. Tony tells his dad that,
Yeah,
which was
because I
probably
think
his issue.
they kind of draw the line between Tony and his dad when there's a remark between his dad where he's like, "Yeah, I hope he doesn't grow up to be like me," and Tony's like, "Why would you say that?" And he was like, "Because I never." Like he said something about the greater good. The greater
He said
good
something about
barely
being selfish,
outweighs-
right?
Yeah, it was like a
like,
personal
selfish.
good
Would
over the
outweigh,
greater.
like,
Yeah.
And they kind of like boom, totally set up for what essentially is the last scene
Yeah,
where Tony like
last scene.
proves that he is different than his dad.
Yeah.
But they do still get that closure, which is really cool. It was a cool thing. I don't know, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And then Captain America just being super creepy through the window.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like,
I know.
she sees you. Like, if that's not a two-way mirror. What
I
the
was like,
hell?
how did she not see this? This is
Like-
kind of ridiculous.
Just like watching. I'm like, what the
Just
hell is
fogging up
this?
the window, drawing little like, smiley faces and shit. It was kind of crazy.
It was a little weird.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's set up. It's like, oh fuck, like I want to be here. Like I want to come back here, whatever.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they leave, right? They leave after that.
Yeah, they get he already got all of the
They get the
time
space
travel vials or
stone and
whatever.
they get the particles,
Yeah, they got a twofer.
and then Rocket
They
and
left a
Thor
few,
travel
though.
to Asgard.
Did you notice that? There was
Yes.
they took what 3 or 5, and there was like 4 more left, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think if they would have taken them
That was-
all, that would have totally ruined the timeline.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because then they wouldn't have any for.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Let's just stop talking about time travel.
Yeah. we're not gonna figure that
Oh,
out.
but the last thing is the shot that panned. What's his name, Dr. Pin or whatever. His office where it had the like really old school Ant-Man helmet. That was cool.
Oh
That was really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
His hair, dude. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
They did really well to like de-age him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got really.
they did that well in Captain Marvel too, because
Oh,
young
dude.
Samuel L. was really.
I
So
totally forgot about
realistic.
that.
So
Yeah,
realistic.
it was not I mean, it was passable. It was buyable. Like you could. You couldn't really
Agent
tell,
Coulson was
like, if you
definitely
could play it
more
well.
obvious than that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you're
tech about like CGing people to just be young as shit is so weird. I mean, during the previews of Endgame, there was the one about Will Smith, where Will Smith is like some super assassin guy who they create a clone of him that's like him as a kid, and it's just young Will Smith, but he looks like he's like 19. Like that
Yeah.
technology, like it's just so weird. Was it Jaden?
No, the title, because the logo looks so weird. It looks like it says Gem Man, because the eyes.
Oh,
are
it's
inside.
Gemini
It's
Man, or what is it?
so dumb. Yeah, it's Gemini Man.
Yeah,
Logo's bad.
yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Okay, so you said Asgard. We got cut to Thor and Rocket.
Thor and
Asgard.
Rocket travel to Asgard, where they see his mother.
Yeah, this is actually
Natalie
we were talking about scenes that you could use the restroom at, and Justine went to go use the restroom a little bit before Thor met his mom, and she got back like as Thor was talking to his mom, and I was like, that she didn't miss much there at all, because she
Yeah,
still,
That's
that was
true.
like a good point where it's like
because he kept
still-
fucking around. Thor kept fucking around, like trying to like. He was so like insecure.
yeah, he was like, oh, my
about,
dad has
like-
wine or something, like we're gonna
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
blow this popsicle stand and go get drunk. Yeah,
But I still liked the kind of closure between him and his mom. I thought it was
Oh yeah, that was really
yeah, no,
good.
she made it back in time, but it was like before.
Like gave him his confidence back for sure.
Yeah, and then he had that quote, you know, I'm not gonna be who I'm supposed to be. I'm gonna be who I am, something like that. Where he mentioned that again at the end when he's with Star-Lord and everyone, I believe.
Yeah, and he gets Mjolnir back. That's fucking cool. He's like, I knew it. I'm still worthy.
So
Yeah,
That
did
also
he
gave a lot
lose
of
that?
confidence.
Did he lose that in Ragnarok, or what happened with
Yeah.
that?
he did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
it
It was
Did it-
literally
gets
destroyed.
shattered. Yeah.
Oh, gets destroyed. Okay. That's what I didn't really catch that, but I was like, okay, maybe he lost it or something. I kind of pieced that together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That scene in Ragnarok's pretty nuts too. You really need to see that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is
Okay.
it? Freya? What's her name?
His sister, I
His
don't
name
know.
is Ella.
Hela. That's
yeah.
what it is.
Hella.
And that's
Hela.
why. That's actually why he has to have another weapon, right? The Stormbreaker, because he
Yeah.
doesn't have his hammer.
Uh-huh.
But the Stormbreaker's awesome.
The
That's
Stormbreaker's
so
so fucking cool, dude.
God of War vibes, hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight
Just
up.
it was just so Norse, like so Viking, and just it was amazing.
Badass.
All right, so he gets his former hammer, and Hawkeye and Natasha travel to another planet.
Black Widow.
What did I say?
No, I'm just saying like that's Black Widow. Natasha.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't really know
yes.
that was her name.
No,
when they
I
said
was
that.
like, yeah. Where they try to get the Soul Stone from Red Skull, sacrifice somebody they love, blah 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 blah. I don't know. What was you guys' feelings about the whole thing? The fighting, them like wanting to sacrifice themselves over the other was like cool, but like, what did you think?
Dude,
Would you be more sad if Hawkeye died? Would you be
no, that's the thing.
like, what
It's
do
like,
you think? Like, are
I
they
just wish
just
I
too
didn't-
minor?
I just wish they didn't announce a Black Widow movie before this movie. Like that's really stupid of them. Because I'm like, oh, she comes back. Oh, it's fine. Blah blah blah. Like, I didn't care. But if I didn't know that, maybe I would have cared more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the
Well,
same
in the
feeling.
during the
I
movie,
didn't
like
care.
without that knowledge, just knowing that, I mean, it just feels like Hawkeye has a lot more to live for.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
For
So
sure.
it's like he has more to lose, and like it was like good of her to sacrifice herself.
So then why even care? It's like, whatever. It's like she's not a character that's just like is gonna be missed. I mean, by the characters, yeah, but by the
Right.
fans,
By it or
fans, I don't
Like,
know.
yeah,
There's
apparently
really
there's a
opposite.
big following for Black Widow. I'm like, yeah,
She's like the original like female character. Like it's just like she's really cool. Like her fight scenes are fucking sick. I don't know. I feel like
I
that's
get
what
it.
fans
I
are
think I get that. But I kind of, yeah, I like didn't really care either. I just, like the Black Widow movie, I'm just like, I'm not like itching to see that, you know?
Oh yeah.
yeah, me neither.
It's because it's like obviously prequel. It's like has no real implications to anything, so it's kind of
Yeah. And her story sounds like really interesting, but I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna see it obviously.
So then this is
I
where
might take it now,
the
kinda.
story gets kind of fucking weird. Because now Nebula and War Machine are trying to steal the Power Stone from Star-Lord,
Mhm.
and
The great intro to Guardians of the Galaxy 1 happens.
Yeah,
they knock him out.
they
which
knock him out,
was-
but then
I didn't see
doesn't.
that coming. I was like, damn, all right.
So Nebula knows that Thanos and herself and Gamora are looking for that very Soul Stone, and this is where they have the interlinked consciousness.
What
Wow.
the hell?
This is where they have the interlinked consciousness, where you see the Nebula in the past timeline. She shows War. What's his name?
War Machine.
War Machine and all that shit. So that's a weird, like, interconnected consciousness.
That was super interesting to me. Like
Yeah, it's like
obviously, like, a computer,
she has her her memories uploaded into the cloud, and that her clouds are linked.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. But why is it that? Is it because they're both in their timeline, in that timeline? So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden,
Well, no, they're all going
the
back
cloud-
to the same timeline. It's not different timelines. You know what I mean? That makes
but
sense.
the
Yeah, it's the
Nebula's in
same-
the past timeline, though.
no, it's the same timeline, but she's from the past. Oh god, this movie.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so she
War
like hooks
Machine
up.
and Nebula from the future go back in time to see Star-Lord, and the Nebula from the future says, "We're not alone because I know I'm coming with Thanos and Gamora to find
Mhm.
the stones." That's
Yeah.
when the past Nebula shows the future War Machine, and that's when Thanos starts to piece together that they're time traveling. I have gotten all the stones. I
I
will
won.
be victorious. I
Yeah.
have won. So this is just another step for me to win again.
Yeah. So you're saying you have like a problem with how that was pieced together, or what?
I just don't understand why. Well, because how come their consciousness, how come
Their
Like,
memories.
their memories and everything were linked that way?
yeah, that
What
was
was
kind of
Honestly,
the
weird.
reason?
It
What was the
okay.
reason? I don't understand
She
it, I
went back in
guess.
time and like hooked up to the same Wi-Fi or some shit. Like, I mean, it was like they were in the same. They were both there at the same time. So
Yeah.
there was some.
But how come how come the past Nebula had future Nebula's memories?
Because they were still linked. Like, and
But why?
and because she was in that. I mean, again, it goes back to this like
It's
But
like
time
a
why?
travel thing.
scapegoat
I
of
guess
time
maybe
travel.
I guess I just don't understand. Is Nebula human? Is she not human? And then she ends up killing herself anyways. Does she die in the present tense
Oh, that's where
timeline?
they break the rules of
That's another
their
thing
own
that's
time
wrong.
travel.
I think.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I
what
saw a
is the
theory.
Maybe
just
somebody
what
could
is the
explain that
cloud?
out there,
What
but
is
I
the
It's
eye
more
cloud
like
out there?
fuck. I should have looked this up, but it's more like the experiences that the current Nebula has are like its own thing. Like you can't like undo that. I guess. Ah man, should have really done better at that. But it made sense when I read it. Like they're basically two different people.
It's kind of weird.
but they're linked.
What?
But
Well,
they're
I think
linked.
feel
they
like
have a
it-
computer in their head. Like that's
No, I'm not. Yeah, they're linked because they're like cyborg. Like their memories are like
I feel like it just breaks all the rules.
on a hard
Like
drive.
that.
Let's see if I can find it while we're talking.
It does. It does.
It makes sense
Anyways,
to
we
think.
yeah.
So yeah, Thanos knows that there's a plan that he won, and that there's a plan to reverse what he's done, which I think is super important in the movie. I mean, it's just I think objectively it is like there has to be more conflict. Like they can't just be like, hey, we got all the stones now, we can do this with no problems. So I think it was important that Thanos caught wind about what was happening, and then had to
Ended up sending the past Nebula to the present. That way she could try to
Right.
infiltrate
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. This says cybernetic implants interfacing. What? Sounds like
It's weird because it's like the same thing, but I don't know. The whole like there's another memory. It's from a timestamp in the future. That whole thing was like from a computer perspective, I get it,
Yeah.
but it just kind of is like a like black magic, like unknown reason. It just kind of happens. But it was
Agreed.
I don't know. Just like helped things move along. There's definitely a lot of that. I think it's hard to like wrap up a series as crazy as this one in one movie, right? Even though it's 3 hours, like they can't solve everything. But I don't know. There definitely was a lot of parts that were just like, well, you just fucking said that you can't do this.
Yeah. And I think we all
Yeah.
had to know that going into the movie. Like, okay,
Yeah.
50% of everyone is dead. Like, how do they win at this point? You know, so it has to be some kind of time travel thing, because that's kind of the only way they could do it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like a theory that they were all stuck in the Soul Stone and shit. That they would break them all out, but whatever.
I would be more disappointed with that thing. I think probably.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, the past Nebula goes to the present to try to infiltrate.
So I found
I
the
guess.
post. Sorry, but do you want me
Go
to
ahead.
read the little thing?
Yeah, sure.
Don't know if it makes sense, but I'll just read it anyway. Okay, so Russo, the director's time travel, deliberately shits on the general cinematography. Let me see. Your past self dying or your parents never meeting does not mean that you who traveled to the past ceases to exist. Changing an event in the past does not affect your past, your experiences, your emotions, or the timeline you come from. What happens instead, a new separate branch of the timeline is created. In the particular reality you're visiting changes course, but does not affect your reality. Think of it like you're changing your past, or think of it not like you're changing your past with someone else's present. So yeah, they're basically two different characters.
Oh, so it's kind of like the 14 million outcomes. Like it could just be one of those, and the one, like two of those could be really similar.
But then that
But-
kind of doesn't make any sense again because they went. Well, no, they killed Thanos's the past Thanos in their new reality, in their present reality.
So they changed their present. So in their present, Thanos is dead, like straight up.
But he still kills everybody in the past in another
Right.
another timeline.
Yeah, and that's where kind of like it's like, okay, well, everyone on all of these infinite amount of other timelines that were created are fucked still, but the one that
Yeah.
we're following is doing all
Yeah,
right. So that's what
good.
matters.
So that's what matters. Yeah. Okay. The
Yeah.
ultimate cop out.
Right. Well, it's time travel.
Just,
So.
yeah.
So Nebula, all that shit happens with Nebula. Past Nebula sends herself to the future, unknowingly to our heroes.
Yeah, present.
That was
They
weird,
all
'cause
go
they didn't
back
even
to the
see
present.
her. They didn't even know it was her. Like it didn't. I don't know.
Well,
The
in
disguise and shit,
fairness,
they
like
didn't-
she's not that important to them, I feel like. So they weren't just like, oh, Nebula, how'd it go? Like, I don't know.
No, but they didn't see her at all. So it felt a little weird that they were sneaking.
Oh,
so
yeah,
much.
that's true.
So she fucked everything up. She just computered the shit out of that thing. And then brought the ship in as they were. What were they doing? They were making the gauntlet, right? They were putting it on Hulk.
Yeah, no, Hulk
Mm.
like was wearing it. As
I was
she.
like, that's a small glove. I don't know.
Yeah, I
On Hulk.
thought that too.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
it
expect
changed.
Yeah, Stark
I
technology.
didn't expect that like dynamic fit, but then I thought about it during the movie, and I was like, yeah, if Tony Stark made gloves, they would just work for any size hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Ant-Man could wear him shrunken down.
Yeah,
So, Thanos comes back, right? Or no, not yet. I think he snaps and then he comes.
He snaps to restore
No,
those
but
who died.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
And then past
the outside
Thanos.
world is just fine, right? Like,
Well,
Paul
no,
goes
so
looking
what
outside
happens-
and it's like fine.
Yeah, Hulk snaps, and then they're kind of all in just a secluded room. Like they had the freaking floodgates down, like they were like in full security mode. So they were like, "Did it work?" kind of thing. And then Hawkeye gets a call from his wife, and then
Which Loki is
Ant-Man.
stupid as fuck. 5 years after she's dead, she still has cell phone service. Stupid.
Dude, that's what I'm
Anyway,
saying.
go
Okay,
ahead.
so while it's looking out the window, is everything just normal again? Like the
Well,
outside world looks like
just notice there's
like
more
nice and,
birds
like-
and stuff, but like
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
unclear. It was still unclear. If
I
it
feel like
right.
it had to have just been back to normal, like straight up, because yeah, cell phone service, whatever the fuck, like anything you could think of.
they were probably on a family plan.
be
maybe
weird.
they had the heart to take her off of it, so he was probably
Yeah.
paying that extra.
So many problems with
$40.
that I don't know if we want to get into, but
Yeah.
Anyway, then
So
Thanos
everything
comes,
came back. Cell phone contracts, everything.
People just reappeared where they were, even if someone else was already standing there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, how would that have?
Very confusing. What
Yeah.
if? Okay, I saw a comment. It was like, "What if you were taking a shit, and someone else sat on that toilet, and you just reappeared?"
Dude,
Would you just
Dude,
be
what
there?
if you moved on and
normal.
got remarried, and then all of a sudden your
Dude, yeah,
dead
that's the-
wife comes back,
That's
and
fucked
now
up.
you're fucked? I don't
yeah,
know.
because they didn't change. Like the people who were still there didn't change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was some issues there for
That's
sure.
why I'm
Now
saying
you
when
got
I
two
think about
wives.
it, I can't do it. Just
Yeah.
stop thinking about it and it's fine.
And like,
Yeah,
of course,
fucking-
somebody's gonna come out there and write this article about why all of this makes sense. But it's like, yeah, but does it? You know, like,
No.
Peter
I
Parker's
think it
just
will.
he's going back to school.
yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get that either.
Yeah.
He went back to school and
Everyone-
everyone was normal as shit, and him and
Okay,
his friend
so-
were like, "Dog, where have you
All
been?"
of their friends.
Did his friend
are
die
just
or not?
Completely dusted. That's just all it is. MJ, Flash, Ned, all of them were just conveniently dusted. So when they come back, they're still in the same grade.
But why was
That's
his
like-
friend
that's
so
it.
crying? Why was his
Because
homie
he
so
probably
emotional?
He probably saw all the
The
shit
movie?
happening. Yeah, basically, like he saw his friend in danger, all this shit. That's probably what it was.
I guess I don't.
But that shit was fucking feels too. Anyway, where
There's
are
a
we?
lot.
Then
there's
their
a lot
asses
to
get
unwrap there.
Bombed like fuck. They all
Dude,
should've died.
Oh, that
Yes,
That
I
should've
thought
been
they were
the
all
end.
dead. I thought
Ant-Man
another
died
time
for
travel
sure.
shit was gonna happen. I was like, what is going on?
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't
Nobody
expecting
fucking
for it to be
dies
Thanos.
somehow.
Yeah, nobody died from that. But
Yeah.
the
I
scene
thought at
where,
least Hawkeye or something.
like, after he launches all the missiles, it shows Ant-Man first looking at that tree or whatever, and
The
he
birds
gets,
and
like,
everything.
blown aback like crazy. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Dude,
100%.
he just had the reflexes to put his helmet on and fucking shrink, I guess.
I know. Just everybody survives. They're just, like, 100 feet underground now. That was
Yeah.
essentially that scene.
And they start a new civilization.
The closest one to death was fucking Rocket.
Oh man, I was so sad. I was like, no.
Still can't believe Rocket's played by Bradley Cooper.
I
Oh,
know.
I'll never
It
get
blows
used
my
to
mind
that.
every time.
Like I never forget that, but it's like, how is that him? Like, I
It's
mean,
the same thing
Yeah.
with Groot, Vin Diesel. Like what?
Yeah, that's true.
It's just weird.
The new Guardians of the Galaxy ride has a Rocket animatronic,
Ooh,
also
Ooh,
voiced by
nice.
Bradley Cooper. That's pretty cool.
Mm.
Wow.
nice.
They just have Bradley Cooper dressed up as Rocket, and just always
huge.
there.
And every 15 minutes, he does his little spiel.
Man, that's probably below his pay grade. You're right.
Okay, so they get bombed to shit. Hawkeye finds the glove, the gauntlet.
Yeah, so you
Right,
know he couldn't
yeah.
die because he had the gauntlet.
And then all this, I heard like a noise, and I didn't know if it was from the movie or like someone in the theater, like the little creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, what is that? And then like I was like, oh no shit, like all the little alien dudes chasing him down.
Yeah, he shoots his light arrow down there, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
Sees all the aliens there.
yeah, he's running real quick, and then he finds, is it Nebula and someone, or it's just Nebula at first, and then it
Yeah.
is President Nebula and Gamora find her.
Right.
Hawkeye's just like, I ain't part of this.
Well, yeah, no,
I'm backing
Hawkeye
up.
willingly gives it to Nebula, right?
Well, yeah, that's like the
To the-
only
to the-
repercussion of past Nebula coming to the future, really.
Right. Yeah. Well, and she brought Thanos back.
No, I mean like to the characters.
Oh, right.
Like they don't know, but so she has it, and then present Nebula and past Gamora show up, try to get it away from her, fucking kills herself. That was pretty crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. And
Thought some weird shit
as
was
soon
gonna
as
happen.
as soon as Hawkeye gets the chance, he gets the fuck out of there from being under gunpoint or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy scene. That's true.
So he gets out. They kill past Nebula. I think she explains then to Gamora, like, "Oh, we're sisters now," or was that? No, that was before, because then they wouldn't have been working together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in the jail.
Yeah. And then
How do they know? Well, okay, so now they kill the past Nebula.
Right.
They start fighting with Thanos. The army's out. Just what? Oh. Anyways, they start fighting with Thanos, and then all of a sudden, Doctor Strange comes with the whole fat army, right? How does he
well,
know?
there's a little more before that.
Some more happens.
Like what?
Captain America. I thought Captain America was gonna fucking die right here. He was beaten the fuck up by Thanos. Bloody and
True.
shit. Oh no, they walk up. It's Thor, Iron Man, and Captain, all standing up there, and Thor immediately is just like lightning eyes. I'm fucking gonna kill this guy.
But he's
Goes
still
in on
fat,
him.
so
He's still fat, so makes sense that he didn't just kill him right then and there.
one cleave, yeah.
It's got a little less air. So they all start fighting. Captain America is like the last one standing, right? They all get fucked up. He's there. He's bleeding. All hope is lost. That scene, that shot, that big fucking shot of Thanos and all of his army versus just Captain America just standing there, that was badass, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think first we need to go back a tiny bit and talk about Thor was 1v1ing Thanos at this point. And
Yeah.
Thanos has the Stormbreaker up against Thor's chest, and he's like pressing it in. And
Oh yeah.
out of fucking nowhere, Captain America pulls the Mjolnir and just uses it like he's always been using it. And
Yeah,
that was unsettling to me at first. I mean, I know you guys have talked about how it makes sense because it's he was worthy and all that, but it felt weird for me. And I was talking to Justine about it a little bit, and she's a huge Captain America fan, but it just I don't know, it was just kind of weird, like that he just instantly was like, oh yeah, I know how to helicopter dick this thing. Like let's do this, you know.
Yeah, it was super weird at first.
I kind of wanted him to, like, if it happens, I kind of wanted Captain America to like summon every ounce of his being to be like, now I can wield this, Mjolnir and now I can save Thor. Like, but it was just so seamless, and
Yeah, because like once you're worthy, you could it's just fine.
yeah,
It's
I guess so.
in the moment, I did
It
not
felt
think about
weird.
that. I was
It
like,
felt
why the
weird.
fuck? Is
Yeah.
he just that strong? Is stupid?
Yeah.
And then there was a great, I mean, I'm not a Captain America fan, but there was a really great 1v1 Captain America Thanos,
That was sick.
fight scene
He's
that
like
that went on.
throwing the hammer at him, hitting him with the
Yeah,
axe,
and
back
throwing
in
the shield,
Ooh.
throwing the hammer, like he's kicking his ass, and it was really cool. But
Well, there's also the scene in I think it's Infinity War where Captain America nudges the Mjolnir a little bit.
I think it's before that. But yeah, he
Civil War,
nudges
yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
Civil War. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
this
like,
was kind of that.
that might have just been pure fucking strength. Because this was just fine. He was just normal at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Quote unquote worthy.
But apparently that was a big deal in the comics too. So it was
That's
kind
what
of a
Justine
good
was
like
saying. It's always hinted
Yeah.
at, but it never really happens, and then it just happened here.
Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was a cool
It was
scene.
Yeah, it was
badass.
really
That's
cool.
why I thought he was gonna die. Because I was like, oh, he got his fucking badass redemption scene. Like he's fucking cool. I thought that was it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It was not. Yeah, so then after that, Thanos, I think, punches Captain America in the face or something, and then he summons his whole army, right?
Yeah.
All of Thanos' army comes out, and you're just like, how are we gonna get out of this one, boys? And then, is it Doctor Strange? That,
No, it's actually it's fuck. I don't know what his name is in the movies. The dude that inherits the shield.
Oh, I don't know his name either.
Let me see if it's
Falcon?
on this. Yes, Falcon.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other words, but that guy. I'm on your left, Captain. Watch out, whatever. And you're just like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then the portal opens. You're like, oh shit! Like, oh my god, they're all here.
And then it
All
goes
portals
Wakanda
are open.
forever.
Yeah, great scene though. I loved that.
Yeah,
Like it
that
was
was
just like the
cool.
two humongous armies, because at first you're like, oh, how are your heroes going to get out of this one? Like, it's just like there's so many people on the other side, and then
Super overwhelmed.
portals start opening, and then everyone just starts marching forward, and it's like, here we go. Like, this is what we paid for.
Finally, we get more Spider-Man.
Yeah, but not enough, in my opinion.
Definitely.
So yeah, all the armies start walking in. Captain's like, hell yeah, we're fucking in it. And he says the classic line, Avengers, assemble. And I'm just like, they're already assembled. Get it.
Yeah.
It was so
cool
fucking
they did that.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Autobots, roll out. Wait.
Wait.
They all start fighting. That was so cool, dude. All the juggling of the gauntlet was so fucking sick.
Oh yeah, that was
Black
awesome.
Panther carrying it around. And then he throws it, right? And then Spider-Man grabs it with his web. He fucking
kind of
webs
reminded me
his-
of the scene in Ice Age where they're fighting over the melon. The last melon.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
Good callback. So what is it? Captain America throws the Mjolnir. He webs onto it. He's flying across.
That was insane. I thought about that scene later. I was like just thinking like too logically about it. I was like, what if Spider-Man just missed the Mjolnir that's going 1,000,000 miles an hour through the goddamn sky with his web? Like, it was just like the amount of precision. That kid. Yeah. That was awesome. And he just flies through the air on the Mjolnir. And
when he's like clutching it, and he's like, activate instant kill mode. Finally, the payoff from fucking Homecoming.
Yeah.
And he's just like clutching it, like basically in a fetal position, while his fucking spider arms are just stabbing people. And he's just like, fuck, like I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm good. Actually, I'm not good.
Oh, I fucking love Peter Parker, dude. When he comes in at first and he's talking to Tony Stark, so good. He's just running his mouth, like telling him what's happened,
Yeah.
Classic.
So does Captain Marvel take it last? Who gets it last?
So Thanos gets it, right? From
somebody.
I don't know. And then Captain Marvel comes back, stops him from using it.
He's like about to snap. Like he's like right there, and she literally grabs his thumb, right?
Yeah.
And then he has to blow the Power Stone on her, right?
Yeah, he pulls it out and boom, that was so sick.
That was awesome.
Use that like that. On his toes, thinking. And then she gets it again, like out of his hand or whatever, and she fucking headbutts her, and she's just like, nice try. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was pretty
cool.
Oh, where Thanos headbutts.
Actually, that was when he fucking hits her off with the single stone, right?
I think so,
yeah.
That was so cool.
That was cool. And then
and that's when Iron Man stops it. Yeah. Somehow gets all the stones. I thought he grabbed one stone off of it.
Yeah, so basically Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the stones, and what happens with Iron Man? He just basically sprints at Thanos and like bumps into him, and Thanos just throws him off, and then Thanos goes to actually snap, but you just hear a clink, when he snaps, and then it cuts back to Iron Man, and Iron Man has the real Infinity Gauntlet with all of the stones intact, and he snaps.
Yeah, I guess in my head the logic is his suit somehow pulled them into his suit, because there's no way he could have just grabbed them himself.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he just grabbed one off and was going to use that to like mess him up a little.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a long struggle or anything though. Like it was very quick.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm guessing is like his suit somehow just pulled him into itself. Because they're already placed there and everything. he snaps by his face, even though it's going to kill him. Like, maybe he wants to put his arm out a little bit so it doesn't kill
Well,
him.
so I think we have to mention a couple of notable quotes from the movie. Thanos looks down at before he snaps. He looks down at Iron Man and he says something something. I am inevitable. And then he snaps and it doesn't work. And then Thanos looks at Iron Man and Iron Man says, "I am Iron Man." And then boom, and it was like such a great, because that was like his initial like I am Iron Man kind of thing, and then
Yeah,
gets
because
to
like
say
was
it
it
like
the first
right as
movie,
he
right? He just
yeah
tells the
yeah the
press he's
first
like,
yeah
"I'm
that's
Iron
like
Man."
his because they're like who is this so it was good. It was but the power that the Infinity Gauntlet had was too much for Tony Stark.
Yeah,
I think it was
fucked up.
fucked up, but it was a good way to go, I guess.
Yeah, so Tony's laying there, pretty much dead. I think who is it first that goes up to him? I don't know if it's Peter.
It's Peter Parker. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It was really feels, but it was also like they knew that his scene in Infinity War was so impactful to people that they kind of tried to play off it more, and it felt
Mhm.
forced.
Wasn't quite there.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
hit as good
Yeah.
as the last time.
So yeah, Peter kind of talks to Tony for a bit, kind of saying his last goodbyes, and then what's Tony's
Pepper.
wife's name? Pepper. Yeah.
Dude, we
She.
skipped a lot of shit, but it's fine.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to?
No, I just remembered because Pepper's there. I was like, she's in a fucking Iron Man suit. Super weird.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh man, yeah, that was. No, yeah. Let's talk about that scene actually, because it was Thanos versus Captain Marvel at that point, right? Where like it's just like they're one on one, and then he Thanos says something intimidating to Captain Marvel, and then I think it's someone from Wakanda.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
she comes
pull
out. And
he
she's like, she's got backup or something.
he pulls out one of the stones from the gauntlet and fucks her up with it.
Yeah. Then after
Yeah, that was after. Yeah. But yeah, so she's
Every
like, oh, I like she's got backup, and then it was every like really powerful female character, which I thought that was an amazing scene. Like it just
it was really cool.
girl power, and like they all just go and
It's kind of like we've come so far from just literally nothing to like so many. I was like, yes, like
yeah,
nice.
they just and then their powers combine and they team up and do that. But
Yeah, that was sick. It was, I guess, it was just because of the callback in when they're at his cabin or whatever, and his daughter, Tony Stark's daughter, saying that his mom's messing with the. They're talking about Pepper messing with the mask and all this stuff, the helmet.
oh
So I
right,
guess she's been practicing because I was like, she's really good at this.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I guess,
Hmm.
I guess that's what it is. But
yeah. So
still
anyway,
felt weird.
Pepper goes up to a dying Iron Man or dying Tony Stark, and just kind of
Yeah.
I liked it though because it was kind of she knew how tired Tony was and like how much he's been through, how many times he's been so close to death, and she says it's okay, like we're gonna be okay, kind of like you can
You
let
can
go.
rest now.
Yeah, you
That
can
was,
rest now.
oh man.
That was good.
And I feel like there was some parts about it that was like Pepper was talking to Tony Stark, but she was also talking to Robert Downey Jr., where it's like, like
Yeah.
you've done so much for this universe, and because I mean, it's
Sorry.
rumored that he's kind of done now. I mean, I guess it's probably more set in stone now, but
Yeah, I feel like I've seen like theories that he's just going to be the AI for a lot of the technology. I guess
oh, okay,
Mm,
that'd be cool.
specifically
the new
Spider-Man.
Jarvis.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
That's badass.
Yeah, and so Tony dies.
Fucked.
Roll
Very
credits.
fucking-
Roll credit.
Roll credits. Yeah, that was a brutal but a good send off.
Yeah.
Let's talk about freaking Black Panther's funeral suit. That thing was fucking sick. It was
Black
like a
Panther.
full Antonio
His outfit.
funeral.
Oh,
Like a
his
full
swag.
like
I didn't.
duster suit.
I didn't notice it.
It was so sick.
Was it
Yeah.
sick?
Yeah, I mean, just I think that funeral scene was like that was the point where I got most teary eyed. Not it wasn't when Tony was dying; it was when everyone was like there because they laid out his his heart thing and it said like proof that Tony Stark has a heart and they like set it
Yeah.
out to sea like a Viking funeral kind of thing.
Yeah, it was real.
And
Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, it just kind of pans to everyone, like all the influential characters who cared the most about Tony. Samuel L. Jackson was there.
Yeah, that was
The
cool.
Mhm.
kid from
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 was there. There was
Dude, I was so confused. I was like, don't include this. Like, I get the contract bullshit, but like, no one knows who this is. Like, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. I
He's
thought
so
that's
good.
where Stan Lee was gonna be.
oh wow,
Maybe
that would have been
somewhere around
crazy.
there.
That
His are
would've been
usually comedic reliefs
wild.
though, but that would have been wild though
Yeah.
for like his. Well, I mean, no one knew when he was gonna die, I guess, but
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Happy with his daughter. That was cute.
Yeah, that was good. Talking about
Yeah, was it-
cheeseburgers.
was it
These fucking cheeseburgers, man.
was it before the funeral or right after where they showed his he had like his monologue that was like him what's it called?
The hologram, that was after.
Yeah, hologram and then he tells his daughter is it his daughter specifically or just
His daughter.
yeah, he just says I love you 3000, which was like back from the
What is it? It's like, create a lot of things, but like, you're the most important or something. I was like,
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good. It got me thinking about the first Iron Man, and I was like, "Holy shit, that came out 11 years ago."
So
It's
fucking
still
long
holds
ago,
up.
ago,
dude.
I watched
dude.
that not long ago. It's still a great movie.
I'm sure.
yeah, I haven't watched this.
So fucking long ago, guys. How old
Man.
were we?
We were in 10th grade, or seniors? In 2011? Or wait. Oh no, it was 2008. We were fucking sophomores, dude.
Yeah.
Were we sophomores or freshmen?
Freshman.
I think.
Like 14.
Yeah.
I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, 2008 was when we were
I would
freshmen.
have never guessed, dude. I'd been like, cool, they made a cool movie. Thor, yeah, that's cool. Now it's just all of this.
It's interesting because I think, like, let's flash forward 30 years, where, or even a shorter period of time, where the future generations are like, oh, like how we're into Star Wars and it's before our time essentially,
Yeah.
and this is going to be theirs kind of thing, where
Yeah.
That's super cool. It's
only
like,
the
dude,
cool kids know about Star Wars, or
how the fuck
I
are
think
they gonna...
so, though, really?
Yeah,
Like,
for
I
sure.
Think it'll age
This
well.
is like the biggest cultural phenomenon probably since Star Wars, or even bigger than... Anyway.
I would argue that it's probably bigger than. Well,
It's definitely larger.
yeah,
It's more
There's
widely
more-
reach.
there's more content.
Yeah.
but is
But yeah.
there
Yeah, dude. Yes, like definitely, because like
like
every movie is
actual content, or like you're talking?
Well,
no,
okay, so there's
the
22
universe.
movies versus like 6 movies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
because if you
I
want to
thought
go
were
into like
talking
the
about.
books
I thought you were
Star
talking
Wars,
about. Yeah.
if you want to go into the books about Star Wars, there's all the comics
Just
about
that
all of the
no
Marvel.
general fan is going to get into that.
Right,
Yeah.
But 22
Yeah.
movies.
casual
Insane.
fan, which I think
Casual.
is what most of us
Okay.
are here.
Wow.
Just casual fans of the show. I mean, I am. I'm not. I don't read any of the comics or anything like that, but
No, every time a movie like this comes out, I get super excited and I want to read the comics.
and then
And I
don't.
start to, and then it's a lot of reading. I'm really bad at that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Ending
Yeah.
scene.
Is anything? What else? What? Yeah, go
Captain
ahead.
America going back in time,
Oh,
fucking
right.
everything up again.
Oh yeah. How did he even put the
And-
stones back? That doesn't make no sense.
Dude, he just went back like 5 minutes and just put it back.
Yeah,
they
so their
do-
whole
Oh,
plan
Red
was after
Skull!
they had to do this, they had to return
Oh,
the
what?
stones to where they were.
When he went to go return the fucking thing for Red Skull, was Red
Yeah.
Skull even there? Wasn't he
Oh.
banished to watch that fucking thing forever until somebody got it?
Maybe
So
he's
was
just
he
like, oh
even
yeah,
there?
here's this. And
Did he
he's
just like throw
okay.
it down there in the big
Yeah,
hole?
like, how do you
here
return
go.
that?
That's
Red
Is this
Skull's
interesting.
just
back?
like, okay.
Okay, I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't think about. I just thought of like
Yeah.
the '70s shit and stuff. I was like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's easy. Like, just go put it
But
back
that's
real
like,
quick.
yeah, he probably was just like, I know who you are. It's fine, whatever. Just you take this.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
So
I
that is
guess.
there because never mind. So yeah, that happens. What do you guys think of old Captain America?
That was kind of lame.
I
It was
kind
weird.
of thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be in the present. I just thought he would stay in the past when they went back the first time.
Yeah.
So is it implied that somehow he went to Tony's funeral?
No, yeah, he was
What?
there. He was there right after, wasn't he?
But was the
No,
old
that
man
was not the
there?
funeral. Sorry, he might have been hiding.
I don't think it was, right?
I don't
he could
know.
have definitely been there,
When
but not.
when it merges those timelines, was he there somewhere and then he just was chilling out there on
He
that
was
bench?
still young. Oh,
there's
yeah,
two
that's where the
Captain
time
Americas.
travel
There has to
rules
be
get
two
broken.
Captain Americas.
Totally, yeah,
So that's why there is two Captain Americas.
Yeah,
probably.
one just lived a normal ass life. Showed up. He's like, I know this is going to be here at this time. I'm gonna go sit on this bench like a fucking weirdo. And the other one's just gonna live through the normal Avengers shit. Like, that's like makes the most sense out of all the time travel shit. I feel like.
Yeah.
Dude, when he was opening the case that he had the shield in, I could like mentally smell it. I was just like, that's such an old case. It smells so 70s. It just smells like old books and mold. Like, oh
I thought you were gonna say it's like all metally and leathery.
no, man. It was like, it's just, I don't know. We deal with old shit where I work sometimes, and like stuff from the 70s, and it has this old person smell to it, and that's what that shield smells like now forever.
So then the new shield holder
It's not Bucky
is
for some reason.
Falcon,
Yeah.
Can we
in the
talk about the
comics and
scene?
stuff-
no
Can we
one
talk about the
cares
scene?
about.
With Captain America and Bucky before he went back in time to return the stones? Was it me, or I was like, they're about to make out?
Dude, that's
I
like
kind of felt
What?
it.
that's like the longest standing banter is that they're fucking.
No, I know, but like
Each
it
other.
just in that scene, I was like, here it is. Like I was waiting for it. It didn't
Is that
happen.
like real?
That's just-
Is that like fanfic
No, people
shit?
people say like, oh,
Yeah,
Captain
no,
America's
he
gay. Like
definitely-
it's like, yeah, it's a
No, he
big
loves-
fanfic,
He loves Peggy Carter. That's not real, but like.
and that's what I
People
thought
just
too.
want it. You just want it.
Yeah,
Why not?
but I like saw. I was like, there's some sexual tension here. They're about to make out. But maybe it's because Bucky knew that he was going to stay.
yeah.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
for sure.
Yeah, they totally had a goodbye.
Yeah.
It was
And
a moment.
then Thor makes that one chick king.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Valkyrie.
Quill is so what I'm reading on the Wikipedia is that Quill is actually still looking for Gamora in the computers on his ship.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. It shows
So
that.
yeah, but I just was like, so did she just stay in the future? Did she go back to the
Yeah.
past? Like,
It's
what
like,
happened?
The thing you have to assume is that Iron Man was like, get rid of all the people that are following Thanos right now, and she switched sides, so she didn't get.
Which I have a
dusted.
problem with because it's just, is it a mental switch that you just flick on and off? Like,
Because she's
I'm with
always
Thanos, I'm not with
against him,
Thanos.
right? She's a fucking slave basically to him, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
yeah. I think that's
I mean,
right.
if you don't want to be annoyed with it, you just have to assume that.
Well, no, because then you look at Nebula, who just transitioned over, right? Because
The
she
present
was.
one?
Well, I guess not just, but right, because
Oh, yeah,
the
present
past one
was
died.
fine. Past
Yeah.
one, no.
So it's a mental switch that slowly switches.
So, real quick back to the Captain America scene where he passes on a Falcon or whatever. They're making a show for Disney Plus about Falcon and Winter Soldier, so that's why I'm like, they can't make a movie out of this. No one's gonna give a shit, but it's a show, so maybe they will. It'll be like
Yeah.
easier to get into that way.
Only $19.99 a month. You too can watch the new Falcon show that's coming out with, what is it going to be called? Disney Plus or some shit?
Disney
$7.
Plus.
What is
So
it?
fucking cheap. It's $7.
Is it? Okay. It's just, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but just the
Insane.
plethora of streaming
Oh
services
yeah, no,
that
it's just ED that you pay for each channel. It's fucking bullshit.
yeah, and it's
Welcome back to cable, guys.
Yep.
exactly, but it's more
Pull the
expensive.
plug, brothers. Yeah.
But I guess that's basically the movie. It seems like we're gonna get Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy,
I would assume for sure.
which is
Probably going to drop some weight.
cool. He'll probably go back to normal.
I hope not, though. Kind of.
I kind of
I
hope
feel
not
like-
too.
I feel like there's gonna be a comedic scene where they're both fighting over Gamora because she doesn't know who they are yet, and they're gonna both race to who can be the fittest person because they were giving each other shit. In
Oh, right.
Infinity War. Yeah.
I think overall, I thought it was good. It was a good kind of wrap up of the series.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm still standing by Ant-Man as my favorite Avenger, and Fat Thor is a close second.
Here's your article, Adrian. Avengers Endgame confusing timeline actually makes sense.
Yep. I knew
We were talking about it earlier.
I called it.
Yeah.
There's some jackass who's gonna write how everything makes perfect sense, and you don't know as much about time travel as I do, because who the fuck does? But yeah, so let's wrap this up. I think we should go through and who's your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe character, and what would you rate this movie from 1 to 5 stars? So I'll start.
Ooh, can we do 10? I don't like 5. I guess
10?
I could do 10. You could do 5.
I'll do 10. I'll just
5 is
double my
too
original.
limiting.
Yeah.
Too limiting.
It's simple, man. Okay.
Dude, if you do 3 out of 5, it's a 6. 6 sounds way worse than a 3
You
out
do
of 5.
3.5 out of 5, Taryn. That's a 7.
That still sounds like it's a bad movie,
So-
which is stupid.
At any rate, I will say Thor in any form. I think fat or buff as hell, or jacked, I guess I would say. Thor is probably my favorite Marvel character. He's a literal god.
Is it in character in general or from the movies?
That's a good question. I guess maybe I should have prefaced that question a little better.
So just in these movies, as you're saying, right? Might as well.
Are you talking about
I would
this movie
still-
specifically?
I would still say in this movie specifically, I liked Thor the most. I think he had the perfect combination of comedic relief, and also he was a complete badass wielding, the Stormbreaker and the Mjolnir. So yeah, still fat Thor. But I would give this movie, I don't know. I think it wrapped up everything pretty well. I mean, it's like timeline and time travel things aside, because that's never going to make any sense. I would say 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
What about you, Jay?
I'm still gonna stick by favorite Avenger being Ant-Man, even in this movie. I just liked him too much to not do it, and maybe it's Paul Rudd, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say rating out of 10, it's probably like a solid 7.5.
Okay. James?
I'm gonna have to agree with Jay here. Ant-Man is just, I think he's told the show just being, he was out there for the little guy. Ha! Pun intended. But
Oh, get out!
no, just how he was on the screen and just the way he was acting like any of us. It was like, what if one of us
Yeah.
went in
The
there?
simple
We were
man.
just
Yeah.
we were just the
Yeah.
regular guy. Like he was just such a regular guy. And I was like so upset that they like all the characters like hated him. Like they were like so annoyed with him and like they were being like mean to him and I was like, no, he's the best. And I just loved the science behind it, I guess. The like even though I had really big gripe with the time travel and everything, I think the way his character presented it and did it and had it connected with the other geniuses that are in the universe, like that
Mhm.
made it more passable, more sellable to me. I wouldn't say he's my favorite overall, just in this movie, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
But in this movie, for sure, I think he stole the. He didn't have that much lines or anything, but when he was there, like it was too good. The taco scene,
Yeah.
him
Oh,
him
yeah.
and sexy Hulk with their
Yeah.
tacos and stuff, like that was
The scene
funny
where
as
he
fuck.
asked the
like,
kids if they want a picture with him. That was
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
Ant-Man. And it's just, yeah, just take the goddamn phone. Like I think
That
he
was
just
good.
kind of stole the show for me. Rating for the movie yesterday, I think I gave it a 9, but today after talking it out and really working through all the things that kind of left me feeling some type of way, I'd have to say it's like an 8.
Okay.
It's about an 8.
Yeah, I think an
Nice.
8 feels better to me too.
Yeah, that's where I was leaning. 7.5, 7.5 to 8.
You
Yeah.
gotta give it up for the all the things they did for the fans.
Yeah,
There was
it
so
was
much
yeah.
to do.
it was sick. It was sick.
Yeah.
Still, like
They're probably
Problems-
gonna do
problems
anything
aside.
Like this again.
yeah, problems aside, fucking sick. Like so
Totally.
cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
Taryn, who is your favorite character and what do you rate the movie?
So in the movie universe in general,
Yeah. Or no, just in
This
in Endgame.
movie-
Who is
No,
your
yeah.
favorite character in Endgame?
in the general, I cannot put anyone above Spider-Man ever. In
I
my
know, me
fucking
too.
life.
Oh,
But in this
Spider-Man's
movie,
the best.
Okay.
you guys fucking sold me, dude. Ant-Man is the shit.
Oh,
He's the best in the movie.
It totally
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All
It was
right.
definitely like I wanted more, and it was
yeah.
really good, dude.
It was just so good. I don't know why. It just something about him just felt so wholesome and like
Yeah.
he was just
Dude,
so
yeah.
good. I don't know. I don't know
The
what
scene
it
with
was.
his daughter fucked me up, dude. I was like,
That
that
was
was
good.
like the
That
feel
was
the
good
good.
part of the
spark for-
whole movie to me.
He had the spark that started the fire for the whole movie, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all him, dude.
So
Yeah.
what would you rate the movie?
I think 8 is probably good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I feel
liked-
good about that.
I've only seen it once, but first impressions Infinity War I liked a lot more.
That's
Like-
okay. That's what I was kind of feeling too. I was like, Infinity War. I think I could tell how good a movie is based on the memes that are just coming out, running, popping out. Like
man.
the
It's only
memes, like
day
just
2, bro.
just like
That's-
Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good. Like that was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fuck.
That's
Like
true.
you. I don't know, something about, we were talking about memes earlier, but like just the memes that come out, like
yeah.
yeah, I think you
Directly
could
follow.
gauge. I think you could gauge how the audience felt about it. Maybe everyone's still in shock. Maybe we're still getting a little like people just trying to settle their thoughts and their emotions about the whole thing.
Well, I
but
mean, what was weird
we'll
about the end of
see.
Endgame is like everyone died. So, but
Yeah,
still,
the stakes
the
felt-
internet was relentless with the memes. Like maybe because
Yeah.
that's our way as a society to cope with things is by humor. But
Yeah.
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 So
It's
around 8 out of 10, I think, all the way through.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here's the official ratings. IMDb give it a 9.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes give it
Wow.
a 96%. And Metacritic
Wow.
gives it a 78%.
Okay,
Yeah,
Metacritic
I think-
is there.
I
We
think
go.
the hype is
All
too
right.
real. The hype is way too real for rating it. That's why I'm saying, like, I've only seen it once. I can't tell for sure.
Yeah, and we watched it
That's-
yesterday. So
That's what I said yesterday. I was like, "Oh, it's a 9." I was like, "That shit was sick," and then
yeah.
I had some time to think about it. I'm like, "Okay, all right, hold on."
And see, I'm the
Yeah.
opposite.
Wait a
I was
second.
I was lower yesterday, and today
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
oh, it's cool. It's fucking.
Oh,
Sweet.
really?
Just the time travel shit. I could not get over how fucking weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I kind
Yeah.
of prefaced my rating with. I was like, "There's a lot wrong there,but I mean, who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
What any of that is?"
Maybe
Yeah.
Polygon has the answers. We don't know. I'll read this shit.
And
We'll
then we'll
see.
just be like, yeah, that's a 9. But I feel like you can't change your rating based off of like shit other people have said about it. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I mean, if it makes
Yeah.
sense,
shouldn't
it's
movies?
like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, shouldn't movies be taken at face value?
I guess
Or
yeah. If the
should
movie
or
couldn't tell
should
you
you
that,
have to dig and
Yeah.
do all this research and build?
No,
I mean,
I just
I
love
don't know.
doing that.
How do you
It
like
depends
how?
on the movie, I think,
And I
I feel
think
like
it
that
depends
makes
on the
movies
person.
better to me. Yeah, I love looking for that shit. Like,
and the
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
depends on the person. Like, do you want to just take it at face value, or do you want to really dig into this universe, which is fucking massive, expansive? It's,
Yeah.
no.
I guess it really, and then that's what you got to say. Okay, so like, is it the movie that was good, or is it the universe that is good?
That's
The way it
true.
was written before, the way it's written and explained in other ways. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why there's nothing gonna be like this. Probably, I want to say ever, but they'll figure something.
People
out.
are crazy as fuck.
Oh, not ever.
Crazy.
Cause like every movie, maybe besides Thor 1 and 2 and Captain America 1, they're
And
all
Hulk.
good movies. Like 20 some movies, like all leading up to one sick fucking movie. Like that's insane, dude. I don't know.
All right, cool. All right, 6:21.
What about the
Episode
end?
1.
Do we
I'm
end?
pulling.
Jesus fuck.
Do we want to end?
Oh yeah. Thanks. I'll end it. Thanks for joining us on Placeholder Podcast. We will see you next time when we are going to start watching Star Wars Episode 1. I just made that up.
I
Are
guess
we
that's
doing
what we're doing.
that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just making it up. You could cut that. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.
No,
Our hold on. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening to Placeholder Podcast. We'll see you guys next week for our next movie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.